What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Carlotta Chatwood Show. You know what? I was not going to have a show today. Y'all know I wasn't going to have no show. But I decided to come on and talk to y'all about some of the hot topics that was out there. I can't help it. I be like, okay, let me go ahead and talk about these hot topics. Tell my thoughts on them because one of y'all write me and say, hey, what you think about such and such? And I'll try to put it in that, like when I put the articles from different websites and stuff, I'll try to put it up, my thoughts, but it's just never enough. So I'm on here today telling y'all what I think. Hold on, let me get my mic just thing straight. Hold on, y'all, my headphones. Okay, we getting it here. We getting it straight. All right, so, oh my goodness, so much has been going on with this week about me. Y'all, let me tell you about my week, okay? Okay, y'all know I'm in the second year in I'm working on my master's in theater. Okay, and so I'm in my second year and I am nervous. I'm so excited. Listen, shout out to Rhonda. Rhonda, thank you for calling and encouraging me. She's finished her just finished her PhD, her doctorates, but hers is in education. And listen, I'm gonna tell you, girl, even though I had a great semester last semester, girl, I feel like she's about to fall out and give up. I'm tired. And I told her there ain't gonna be no doctors. She's like, you never know, and stuff like that. But listen, she encouraged me. I was like, because, she called right on time, too. Lord have mercy. My girlfriend from New Jersey called right on time. Just say to me, you're not gonna give up. So shout out to her. Much love to her. Thank you for calling me up and being encouraging. Also, I was telling her, I said, I don't know if I'm going to see Maxwell in Brooklyn or not. You know what? Because I'm trying to decide on this cruise deal. I know I'm slow. I might miss the cruise. I don't know, because listen, this is the serious. I'm getting down to serious ish with my master's, okay? Because I'm not that far off. I'm almost done. And I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna finish it in this year, because I got so much going on, or am I gonna finish it next year in the fall? So I'm trying to decide how I'm gonna do this. Like these 2 semesters I'll be almost done. It's not that many hours that I had to have. And this year is a lot of interactive stuff happening and stuff. So I'm so excited. I'm super proud of myself. At this point, because I'm like, whoa, if I can complete this, my gosh, it will be so dope. So yeah, and this gives me, the ability to teach college and everything like that. So I'm very excited about that. Just so fun. So y'all be praying for me out there, okay? Okay, listen, because I be needing the prayers, honey. I be needing the prayers. And child, at this point, I'm gonna have to be signing up for these scholarship money. Anybody got some scholarships? Let me know. Write me on the Carlotta Chatwood Facebook page, because at this point, oh my goodness, I'm like, I don't know if I can trick off on Maxwell right now. I'm tricking off on Maxwell. I'm gonna trick off on them in Vegas, but I don't know if I'm gonna trick off on them in Brooklyn. I'm like, I don't know about that. He be getting enough tricking off, okay? All right, so you know what? Me and my girl, so y'all, it's a word for this week. Me and some of my friends was talking this week. We're talking about the power of. We were laughing and joking, because a lot of y'all out there. Hold on, my stuff is messing up. Okay, a lot of y'all out there be thinking that celebrities be giving sacrifices, and we talk about that. We was having this big discussion, and I was saying, well, is it far off that I said, now we're not literally talking about, I said, when we talk about sacrifice, I saying, isn't that the concept of the way God made the world and the universe? And it's like, all right. And he said, girl, you saying you got to sacrifice somebody? I said, no, not literally. If they doing that, they some crazy people. I'm talking about that there is a spiritual sacrifice that happens with people when you move into the next level. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen people do me like that, right? You know what I'm saying? When you are moving somewhere else toward in your life, or your goals are changing, your life is changing. I've seen this in family dynamics, relationships, friendships, that there is a sacrifice. I remember talking, and I know me, listen, y'all don't be getting at me, don't be talking about I'm trying to say something about sacrifice. I don't believe none of that. If some of these fools is out here actually sacrificing people, that's crazy as hell. Even if you're doing it from a witchcraft point of view, that's some stupid shit, okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who have to sacrifice, where you have to sacrifice, like maybe not, you have to, the dynamics of your relationship change. The dynamics of your friendships change. Sometimes they end or whatever. But in order, everything is going to require of you some sort of sacrifice in your life. I remember one time watching CNBC. I was watching, I think it was Donnie. I forget the guy, Donnie something. They used to have a show on CNBC about business and stuff like that. And he was talking to a lot of business guys, and they were talking about, what it takes to be a millionaire. And everybody was, being nice and having a discussion, But this one guy, I remember he stopped and he said, listen, we can tell you guys that, all these great tips and stuff that we've done and everything. He said, but the truth of the matter is, he said, some of us up here have had to sacrifice friendships, families, we've had divorces, we've had all kinds of things to get to the point, to get on this journey. He said, at a certain point, the journey gets easier. He said, but sometimes it's hard what you have to give up in order to focus on that particular thing, okay? So one of your It's a Words today, because I got two of them for you, but one of your It's a Words today is that whatever you're going to do, and it's tough, man. I'm starting at 52. I knew the concepts because I brought it up in this discussion with my friends. I've always known the concepts of sacrifice because I'm a Christian background. Even God, listen, let me tell y'all something. I like to preach, even though I'm not a preacher. I'm not no. What Beyonce say? I ain't no preacher. But what she say? What she said? I ain't a preacher, but we can pray if you want to. Okay, I ain't a preacher, but we can pray. But I'll tell y'all, I'll give y'all some word. Okay, but God couldn't even, from a Christian standpoint, God could not even break His own rules in the earth that He's created for the universe. God had to give up a sacrifice. Listen, let me try to tell you, this is for y'all to encourage y'all about what you may have to do to get it on, okay, to get your stuff going, okay? You might be saying, man, I got to give up this, I got to do this may not work out, this person may not come with me like I thought they was going to come with me, this person may not roll with me, and you know what, our environments dictate to us so much, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I was at ORU, some of the things is so amazing. Sidebar, this is a sidebar, and I'm going to get back to the sacrifice thing. But when I was at ORU, Oral Roberts University, it was drained into us so much that, don't go by what you see. Because if you go by what you see, if you let your environment speak to you, it'll trap you. It will fucking trap you. It will trap you. It'll take you out. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to see something beyond the natural, what you're waking up to every day. This side of what people say, the matrix, okay? So going back to God, even when God was trying, what people say for the Christian version of Christianity's word, that God could not even enter. When God wanted to get humans back, to restore mankind, God could not just restore mankind. He just couldn't say, okay, restored. He could if he want to, but God honors his word and his own law, right? So what did God have to do? God had to create a human sacrifice in order to get something back. It's a concept that's constantly in the Bible. You see sacrifice. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, you see the idea of sacrifice. that we always hear that scripture, or we see it, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever shall believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Okay, but he had to give something. And if you look at the life of Jesus, which is very interesting, Jesus didn't really want to die. Jesus, even though he understood he was the sacrifice. You remember in the Garden of Gethsemane, because Jesus is having a human experience, right? Even though he's a spiritual being, we all are, but he's having a human experience. And they said he was praying to the point of sweating blood. And he was telling the disciples, hey, you guys stay up with me. Stay up with me. I need you to stay up with me. And they was like, they couldn't do it. They was like falling asleep on him. But he understood that the sacrifice had to be made. That is the only way to get to the other side, to get what needed to be done. So if the concepts of God, just let me say this, God's universe is and even even think about the story of Abraham, which is a very one that lots of people like in the Bible. One of the most treacherous stories is God calls Abraham to give up his son, his heir to the throne, Isaac. He said, hey, take Isaac up there on that mountain and sacrifice him. And Abraham raises a knife in his hand to get ready to sacrifice his child. And God stops him. Now, there's a couple of concepts I have in that reason I think that God did that. A lot of people be like, oh, that's just wow. God. People are tripped out about that concept. But I think God did that for a couple of reasons. First of all, God wanted to show Abraham, the loyal seed, Abraham, that he trusted in God so much that this heir, that even though he had gave him a promise, even without the heir, he knew that God was still going to come through for him. But the second thing was what it takes to raise this heir. What does it take to raise Isaac? It's going to take you sacrificing him. Most parents, a lot of parents, I'm not going to say most parents, a lot of parents today don't get that. That's why they raise up and they looking at these kids going, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? Because it's the concept of sacrifice. And you almost have to sacrifice your child in some ways, give them trust, a lot of things. Like you have to be able to give them up in some ways to a God, or trust someone, or trust the universe, or however you do it, to move them in the proper directions. You can't just hold on to something tightly. You won't do it well, right? So it's the same. I'm talking to y'all all about this today because whatever it is that you have to give up. I remember reading the book The Alchemist. It's all about different levels to me of sacrifice, different levels of saying a goodbye to move to the next level, okay? I just want to encourage you today that you may have to give up some things. Hey, if you're trying to lose weight, like me, I'm trying to lose weight right now. I'm going through my whole, this really thing. And it's really, I'm changing my whole mindset about it because it's really important for me right now. And my mindset is, and it's hard sometimes because I'm an emotional person. I will be emotionally eating up. And when you stress me out, I go give me a Kit Kat. Well, now I'm starting to learn to eat fruits and stuff like that. But I will be stressed the fuck. You know what I'm saying. Okay? I stressed out. So I realized that you have to sacrifice. I'm going to have to sacrifice in order to get where I want to get to. And then this is going to have to be a concept that stays with me. I'm going to have to change my mindset about what I need to do as I head into this. I'm in the second phase of my life. As I head into this second phase to stay healthy, to stay youthful looking. So I can be like, looking, did y'all see Angela Bassett this week, sidebar? Did y'all see her walking out that thing? So I can be cute like that. Maybe even cuter, Angela, at 66. So I could be fine over here. Okay, and I realized that's going to take some. I'm even going to see my doctor because me and my doctor was going to talk about some stuff this week. I said, shit, we got whatever it takes. But I'm at an understanding that it is going to take sacrifice. And that is sometimes so hard because you have to sacrifice. Because if you got people around, I remember hearing this story. If you got people around you that are going out to dinner all the time, are hanging out, you got to find a way to, when you go, to do something different, to pay attention to your life and stuff like that. Oh, it's so tough. Because I've created, my environment has created certain things for me to cope. And I'm trying to learn how to cope without them. You know what I'm saying? But I got to do it because I got to grow. Something's requiring of me growth and change. And, that's what happens. You got to grow and you got to change, okay? You got to change, all right? Now, my second part, so that's your first, it's a word. The sacrifice is someone's intimate. You're gonna have to have it in your life, okay, to get to wherever your next thing is. And no joking about the celebrity. We were starting talking about that, but then I said the concept of sacrifice is real. I bet if you talk, even if they just, even if they was just, we know it's a lot of celebrities in the entertainment business that did a foul shit to get, to get where they at. Some haven't. There are some that haven't. But even the ones who have done foul things still have to give some sort of foul sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's perverted. We don't want you to give no perverted one. But there is, you know what I'm saying? There is a sense of sacrifice in everything. In everything. Marriage, relationships, all kind of stuff. And here's the kicker. That when you start moving, oh my God, I've talked to some people who have had major success in their life. They just huge major success. And what they have told me, like certain things, they said, hey, I got one person I know who said just, hey, I knew early on that certain friends wasn't gonna work. She's like, I gotta move motherfuckers out the way. I knew certain people wasn't gonna work. I wasn't gonna work with it. I loved them from afar, family members. I had to be like, nah, because you don't mean me no well. You don't have nothing. I just had this recently this week, sidebar, with a person. I was on the phone with them, having a conversation, and this person it was going fine, but then something happened. It was a click, and they said something that was crazy. And I was just like, you know what? My goodness, I can't, as much as I like for this to work, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I had to understand that about that dynamic, that it was not gonna work. And I had to give it up in terms of how I saw it. It's not fair to the other person, it's not fair to me. To keep hoping for this to be this certain way, and it's not going to be. And they're just not that way. And I can't just keep putting pressure on them to be that way. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You just have to give it up and just say, all right, And I know I have to give it up because I in order for me to stretch my life, I have to do what I need to do on that note. But going back to what I was saying, you're going to have those times where you're going to have to give up something strongly, whether it's friendships, sometimes relationships change, sometimes marriages end. That's facts. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Sometimes people make it through, but I mean, I just saw something the other day where a woman and her husband broke up after 20-some years of marriage. I was like, wow. Why? Because people's, and she said, well, it should have been a while back. I was like, my goodness. But, the thing is that people sacrifice them sometimes themselves, So, and that she wasn't willing to do that anymore. So, in order to go where you need to go in your life, be prepared for the sacrifices and the changes that you have to make in order to do so. That is just a part of the journey, okay? Now, my second thing for y'all is that there are people right now who and I was talking to somebody about this too, because they were talking about, I always feel like nobody's checked, I'm overlooked, I'm blah, 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 blah. And I understand that feeling, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Scorpio. I be in the corners all the time. But I'm overlooked. People don't see me that way, and all this stuff. And I was like, and and they were talking about a particular person that they were hanging out with or whatever, and they just didn't fit in with the group. They were just like, I just don't fit in with this person. The person just really kind of disrespect me. And I was like, you know what? I said, here's the deal. I said, what did you learn from them? What from that person did you see that made you want to hang with them? And she was just telling me about how there's, they're this, they're that, they have these qualities I like. I said, how about this? I said, gather those qualities, and I said that you liked, and create your best self. I said, now, I just want to let you know, when you create that best self, when you create that, when you start leveling up, I love the Phoenix up. I mean, Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Phoenixing is hard, though. I'm a Scorpio, and that's our level we supposed to do. Astrology-wise, people say we supposed to Phoenix. And people be, I don't say everything for astrology. I like it, but, it's helped me a lot. But but Phoenixing, becoming the Phoenix, when the Phoenix burns itself, like it destroys everything in its path, and it destroys itself, and it emerges from the ashes as something new, this beautiful bird full of fire and strength and everything like that. So I'm in that stage right now. I'm going through something. I'm like, it's time. You know what I'm saying? I have to like say to everything, because I feel like I'm at a major crossroads. Because at 50 something, you be feeling like at a major crossroads. You like, hold up. Like I was telling y'all the other week, it's not that, but you see how much ahead of you got. You like, ooh. Time keeps on, what is it? Time keeps on ticking. What is it? Into the future. What's that song? I'm gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. I forget the name of it. Fly like, who used to sing that song? Let the spirit carry me. I know Yolanda Adams made it over, but it was somebody else who used to sing Fly like it. It's an old singer. Dun, dun. But time keeps on ticking into the future. Right? And you get older every day. So like you ain't got time to be playing with people. You like, hey. Like one of my family members called me the other day. I said, speak your, I ain't got all day. Tell me what you want. Speak now. Because I'm on the move, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you at this point in your life, you can't play no games. If you versus my 50s versus my 20s, I felt like in my 20s I had all day. Going out, playing outside every day. But now I'm in my 50s, I be like, nah, don't play with me. What is it you want? Don't pull on my energy if you don't want nothing. Don't play. What is it you want? If you can't state what you want, I don't got time. I'm on the move. Right? So you may have to be like that in your life. And for people who fail to invest in you in the low stage, like fail to invest in you in the low stage. And that don't mean that everybody that invests with you, that start off investing with you, stay in your life. I'm not saying that, because people change, different phases change different things, and recall different phases calls for new investments and new things and new people and new situations, right? And you know what? I even see like certain parts of, like, I was watching this cyborg, a celebrity the other day, and I was watching like this particular stuff, and I was like, man, they have had. I was like, I wonder, like, it's great to have people around you, the same thing and stuff like that. But I wonder how afraid this particular celebrity is of change. I thought, and I said, because I can get that. Like that. Are they afraid of what may happen if they change out this, or if they do this and do that? Because I was watching them, and they were showing this thing, like, they stability. They have this group around them that's very stable. And they haven't had any shifts and you can see they're trying. It's almost like what they have the shifts. And you know what I found that it was sort of like this when I was looking at the celebrity. I felt like they were just like holding on for dear life to everything around them to stay stable, to stay this way and stay that way. And I just realized that I realized at that point, I said, dang, this happens for celebrities too. They get stuck. You know what I'm saying? You can see when somebody's stuck, right? And it was so interesting to watch. I mean, just to watch I was watching this one particular thing. And I thought to myself, I said, they are going to have to prepare for something to shift. Because if you're not preparing for it to shift, it'll shift from underneath you. Like you can think you're going to avoid change, but you're never. I know this for a fact because I hate change. Y'all know I'm a November baby. I don't like those change. Scorpios, we be like, oh, even though we always requiring to change, we are the sign of transformation, right? But things will, if you don't have a plan for that shifting, things gonna shift up underneath you anyway. Like I'm always looking at this with my certain things. Even when my grandparents get older, I be like worrying. I be like, Lord have mercy. You know, sometimes I'm a worry ward. I'm a Virgo moon. I be like, oh Lord, I gotta make sure. God, I hope that don't happen right now. Lord, I got. I be praying myself through certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because as they get older and stuff like that, I'm like, jeez. Thank God. God has really, listen, let me tell you something. God has been so good to me in that area. And I'm the caregiver. But God has been so good to me with them because they are so independent. My granny, she slows a little bit, but she's older than my papa too. But they're still both very independent. Both got their minds, both healthy, you know, little sick stuff here and there that's, you know, but oh my God, it hasn't been what I thought it could be. I mean, I've been so blessed in that area. God's been really so good to me in that area where I can come to, you know, to check on them and this and that. And they have a neighborhood of neighbors that love them and keep, and the people in the neighborhood just keep up with, they all help me out, okay? They all help me, right? They're all like, so I've had a blessing, but it's still, I always have to look at the shiftings. When I come home, I'm like, whoa, that's different. Oh, I'll go out with my grandfather because he's still very independent. He drives and everything. So I go out with him and he knows, he's like, uh-oh, I'm getting my driver's test. Because I want to be ahead of the game. I'd be like, you know, I want to talk to him. Like I told him, he could come to me when you feel you're not ready, when you feel you're done with driving. You got to come to me. You got to talk to me. You know, I leave that door open for him. I need you to be able to say whatever. If you feel good about it right now, you know, and he lets me know, hey, well, this time he was telling me, you know, he's getting time for his glasses. So he calls me the other day and he says, hey, me and your grandma need our glasses. And I said, okay, I'll work that out. We're getting new glasses. So he can, you know, feel better. We talked, I remember we had, you know, it's these little shifts of life, little changes, you know what I'm saying? But change is going to happen. They getting older every day, and so am I. Right? So changes are going to happen. I can avoid them all day. I can wish them not, but that's just a part of life. So you can shift when it's easy for you to shift and be prepared for the moment. And sometimes you're never prepared, but you can try your best to shift to meet moments. But if you just are not, if you're just going to stay scared, man, I'm just telling you, it's going to be tough. It's going to eventually get to you. You know what I'm saying? It's eventually, whether it surprises you, whether the ground is you know what I'm saying? And a lot, like the ground is, I mean, you're shifting under your feet suddenly. But I always say God gives you warning. That's much. I believe that God gives you distinct warning before things happen, before things, you know, things go awry. So what I tell people is that do not be scared of the changes that you have to make in order to make your life a better life, in order to make your life better. You can't avoid all surprises, all things, but you can be ready to meet the challenges the more that you're able to shift in life. And it's not always easy, you know what I'm saying? But it amazed me as I was watching that celebrity. I watched that celebrity and I thought to myself, Are they ready for a change? Because can they deal it with if there are sudden changes in their organization? Are they prepared for it? Because they've had this person for so long and this person for so long and this person, and it's like, are you ready for if that happens? What happen? Every day we're living. So, do you? And I sense the reason why I say that, I sense the sense of fear around that person. Like they keep that together because that's their fear, But fear doesn't stop things from changing for us. It just doesn't. So be prepared to meet your changes. And like I said, has those things happen for the people who invested on you at the bottom levels, where you were at, where it was not, remember them. But for the ones who doubted you, for the ones who didn't want to, didn't think you was like going a certain place, or didn't think, what you was doing this. Well, you know what? I always say, let them know. Like, I love that Fat Joe saying, what Fat Joe said, yesterday's prices are not today's prices. For those people, yesterday's prices are not today's prices. Let them know the price just went up to know me. You can't just come up in here without I got it together. If you wasn't working with me at the bottom levels, you wasn't in the dirt and in the mud with me. You wasn't praying for me. You wasn't this and that. Today, yesterday's prices, and it's okay to say this, is not today's prices. For that girl who's dealing with, like, say for instance, weight problems right now, you know what I'm saying? You got your weight, you know what I'm saying? Look at your weight going, and some man is like kind of, that you really like, is kind of dissing you for your weight. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but for y'all, but I'm just giving y'all this example. When you get your body in tight and he try to come on back up, you let them know, yesterday's prices is not today's prices. My value has shot. And as a matter of fact, it's options out in the street now. Okay? So that's what I was saying to you. When you are ready to meet those challenges and changes for yourself and restore yourself and give yourself the opportunities to be your best version of yourself, well, then you got the right to let people know. You got the right to be picky. And I'm not saying be stuck up, but I'm saying be picky about who you value and what you value. I mean, who has valued you in your life, and who's just coming in. It's just like if you meet, after you've gone through a certain situation, like if you've gone through a lot of situations of hurt and pain, if you've gone through transformation and you've gone through a lot of great changes in your life and stuff like that, you understand you're very picky about the people that come in your life, because you like, like it ain't as, you weren't as picky back in the day before you had all the hurt and pain and the different lessons you've learned and stuff like that. You might have been less, less guarded. But now that you've learned some lessons and you've learned some things, then you understand that, hey, you know what? Everybody, it's a different price for the people that you meet today after you've succeeded or you've done some things differently in your life. There's a different price for these new people coming around you than it was the people who knew you at a certain level. You've changed. You've come up. So that's one of the things. That's your second It's a Word of the day, okay? Yesterday's price is not today's price, okay? And you can tell their friends that they be treating you like ain't nothing, or the man that they treat you like you that don't, who ain't seeing you as the gift that you are, the man or the friends or the family members who are not seeing the powerhouse you are, the gift you are. They can't tell it, they can't see it. They like, I'm talking crap and stuff. Let them know. Remember, yesterday's prices will not be today's prices, okay? And tomorrow it'll go up even higher. All right, so that's y'all It's a Word for today, okay? All right, so we gotta get in some of these hot topics. Y'all keep asking me about this couple that got caught cheating. First of all, I'm gonna say they some dummies. Let me just say that. Can we just say dumb? You know what? That would tick me off more than anything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Things in life happen with people. I'm not saying I accept certain things, but I'm saying things in life has a person who has seen a lot of life and seen a lot of things. I've said this on my show, and a lot of people get mad at me about some of the stuff I say about marriage. But listen, I say that, I've learned a lot over these, I used to sound like Dr. Cheyenne. Dr. Cheyenne, you know how Dr. Cheyenne goes around talking about marriage and stuff like that. I'm going to be, no, I said, I laugh at Dr. Cheyenne. I said, she is not married. She's funny. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not that she can't give good advice, but with people, it's just a different road. It's a different, it's a different thing, okay, when you're in it and understanding relationships and dynamics of relationships, even long-term relationships and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, my other phone. Y'all ignore that sound. My other thing is ringing, and I can't get off the air to go get it. Okay, so, but the dynamics of people change over the years. Now, the one thing that would tick me off more than anything and just so disrespectful is the blatantness of what they did, okay? And we talked about this. Remember, I talked about this on the show with my favorite couple, who I love to talk about on here, Amy and TJ. Remember Amy and TJ, ABC News? Amy and TJ had them good jobs at ABC Good Morning America, okay? And they was allegedly dropping it low, spreading it wide and dropping it low all over New York City, allegedly, okay? And I said, them fools, they just wasn't being, they were not being careful. They didn't even care about their spouses at that point. You know what I'm saying? If you do, here's, subconsciously, these two people wanted to get caught. They're probably relieved today, even though somebody's going to be taking half. And I will say this to people, I will say this to people to really understand about things like that. It's just like when I said, when an alleged story about a certain NBA player cheating on his famous, well, she's, kind of actress, famous host, former MTV host wife, allegedly. And he was on the boat with another woman on her birthday. I said, listen, he don't like you. If they doing that, you got to sit there. You can't sit. A lot of people try to keep people in trap, but at some point you got to say, dang, when it's that blatant, when they doing something that loud, because I always say, if they still care for you, they might be still sneaking. You get what I'm saying? But when it's blatant, or when it's subconsciously blatant, you got to help them end it. Do I make sense? I see. I know I'm gonna get some right. I know people gonna write me about this because people get upset when I say these kind of things. Okay, but I'm just saying. Let me go to this article. Let me go to it here. If y'all didn't see this whole thing, pull it up here so y'all can see. Do I have it up? Okay. Okay, so here's this couple. It's been viral now. I don't know if I got the video. It might be a commercial before the video comes. Yeah, a little Fashion Nova commercial for you guys. Okay, but let me see. Okay, let me show you guys. Hopefully it'll show the video after. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me pull it back so y'all can see it again. Oh, goodness. Can I pull it all the way back? Okay. Okay. Y'all can see them on the camera. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure what to do. Can we run with you?
Okay, so apparently they were having an affair. Okay. This is at Coldplay's concert. It says, what was supposed to be a romantic moment caught on the kiss cam during the Coldplay concert has launched allegations of an affair during the band's performance at Gilead. This is from Fox News Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts on Wednesday. Martin serenaded the crowd with an improv of the Jumbotron song. Now, see, they knew it's a Jumbotron song getting ready to fucking come on. Okay, listen to what the name of the song is. They got a kiss cam, cameras rolling all around the concert. Okay, said where he sang about couples featured live on the big screen. One pair's reaction raised eyebrows, and the 48-year-old couldn't help but comment. Okay, but there's a little picture of them. Okay, but it says, "Whoa, look at these two," Martin said, as a man and a woman were seen cozying up with one another. Once the attention was on the pair, the woman immediately turned away and dodged the camera. The man also exited the frame. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy, Martin looked as the audience laughed. Online sleuths claimed the gray-haired man and blonde woman are astronomer CEO Andy Byron and Chief People Officer Christian Caveat. I guess Astronomer is a New York-based tech firm, okay? And reps for Byron and Cabot did not immediately return Fox News Digital request for a comment, and neither has publicly commented, okay? He was the CEO and she was the chief officers. Now, I was listening to a human resource person today on, I forget where they were at. And they say these kind of relationships in the office happen fucking all the time. I know that. Listen, I tell people all the time. I tell people, do not make your money where your honey's at. Do not have your honey. Old people used to tell you this all the time. Hey, baby, don't have your honey where you make your money. That's messy. Well, you don't do that. Like, and even though people do it all the time. I had a I had a couple of VPs at one of these places. They used to try to come at me. One time, I was young. I was like a young girl, and this one, I was cheering up this particular charity at our company. I was the chair of it, right? And I was young coming in the game, right? And so I had a mentor she was dope. She was one of the VPs in the company, like the second VP. All right. She saw what this man was trying to do. I'm young. I kind of felt off, but I didn't know. He was a good looking man, but he was married. He had a whole family, okay? And he was always like, oh, well, hey, like he said, can you come to my office and discuss that? I'm like, what? He's this man always trying to get me to come to his office. And the VP lady, who was kind of like my mentor, said, no, I'll come to your office and discuss that with you. I mean, he used to be like literally irritable. And so one day he came down to my thing and he was like, yeah, anytime you want to come to the office. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And she shortly came up about a little bit after. She said, if he ever asked you to come into his office or whatever, she said, you let me know. She said, I think he's trying to date you and you do not want that. Blah, blah, blah. And she explained to me, and I was like, oh, is that what's going on? I kind of had a feeling, but I wasn't sure, right? And it was a white guy, right? So I was like, man, so she really protected me in that. She really did anything that was business-wise and stuff. She went and did it, really. And after a while, I knew it was true because I could see her staring at me like Donna Hoff, or wear a certain dress that day or something like that. So those kind of relationships do happen in the office. And, people move up from that kind of shit. They do. I just wasn't interested. You know what I'm saying? But people move up in offices and corporations. Some of your top corporate people have gotten their jobs by being able to suck a mean one. Okay? I ain't gonna lie to you, okay? And some of y'all know that in these offices and stuff like that, okay? Because that's why you be like at the top looking at some of the people like, how you get there, okay? So these two were so blatant. This is what I, it's and people, he said either they're having an affair. Yeah, the shame comes on them now. The shame is on them now, but they really are tired of sneaking around. No, they are. They are. If you go to a Coldplay concert, which is the majority of their age group around, okay, you're at a Coldplay concert in New York fucking city with a kiss camera roaming all around. Usually at concerts, there's always cameras roaming around, okay? Whether they're live for the person's vintage videos or something like that, you can never trust the concert. If you're going to be having an affair and going to a concert, baby, you're going to have to be at the back of the suite. I noticed they was in front of the suite, supposedly, okay? And they had allegedly other people in there. Now, y'all got y'all arms around each other, hugged up, at a major event where your age group is more than likely to be at. Now, I can understand if these mofos was up in the Maldives. Is that how you say it, Maldives? You said Maldives, Cook Island, Turks and Caicos hidden up somewhere, and they was at a concert because it's highly unlikely. I still wouldn't, at Turks, I still be funny. I still be like, you know what she was going. Listen, I'm telling you, because remember who got caught. Who got caught? Remember who got caught? They was over in Italy. They was over, and I still think somebody. Let me say this, okay? Y'all remember the tea? I didn't break the story, so I can talk about it. Remember when Layla Rashawn, husband Antoine Fuqua, or whatever his name is, got caught over there with Eddie Murphy's ex-wife? He kissed up in Italy somewhere. Okay, now how the hell? Now see, I can understand being out in public in Italy, and you still got to be a little funny, okay? But in Italy, I would have said, okay, these people are still trying to sneak around and stuff like this. They are way over in Italy. But the problem was somebody called the paparazzi on him, which I believe, I got my own beliefs about that paparazzi shit. How that got happen. Because I'm like, who gonna know them two fools was over there? They ain't even know paparazzi type of people, the paparazzi. That's just like I said about Janet Jackson and Maxwell. Janet Jackson and Maxwell, don't nobody, I said Maxwell, like they went right out in front of the press. You gotta always they went right out in front of the press. Anytime I see Maxwell with anybody in the press, like when I saw Maxwell back in the day holding hands with Jalissa in the press, when I saw him holding hands with that Diamante, I said, nah, somebody done called them. Because he ain't the type of dude that people follow around, that paparazzi follow around, unless they just happen to catch him walking out from somebody else or something like that. Because he's just highly private. People don't pay that much attention to him because he's been consistently private over the years. So when Janet and him showed up in front of a press of people, that was a press thing. They knew the fuck what they was doing, okay? So they knew they was gonna get some publicity that day. Now these people right here, these people, you think they didn't know they was gonna get busted? Coldplay, you got your friends maybe at Coldplay, your wife's friend may be at Coldplay, her husband's friend may be at Coldplay, couples you know could be at Coldplay. Oh, Bob, what are you doing here? Hey, Chris, how's the wife? You know what I'm saying? How could they not know? I'm going to tell you how they could not know. Because it wasn't a blatant, this was a subconscious thing. These two people, listen, I don't care what, listen, wife and husband, come gather close, wife and husband, whoever the ex-wife and husband is. And anybody else that got shit out here like this. When they ain't sneaking no more, and when they just blatant with it, when they cheating on your birthday and at Christmas time, they going out on Christmas Day, they ready to leave. They don't like you. Oh, it's facts. They just like, it's over. And not only have they come to that point, but they just blatantly, like they at the disrespect. This is the disrespect road. Like the disrespect, the end. You at the either they want somebody, something else. Sometimes somebody could want some attention. You know, like to let their couple know they I had a family member, they was telling me about another family member, and like they was telling me this person in the family was cheating on him. I said, wait a minute, because they said, yeah, and I found a letter to such and such, and I said, where you found a letter? And they was like, they were saying the letter was right out on their table and stuff like that. Now they was asking me regarding astrology, right? What do I think? Because this particular person is my sun sign. And I said, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about us. We are the most secretive sign in the zodiac. We don't let you know nothing unless we want you to know it. I said, so if you saw a letter that's sitting up on top of the thing, I said, this just laying there. I said, they wanted you to know. And I said, not only did they want you to know, I said, they wanted you to do something about it. They want your attention. They want you to do something about it. And she was like, oh my God, you right. Girl, please. Ain't nobody leaving no letter out. These two, it's the same thing with these two. These two do not want these relationships anymore. They just don't care. When you're in the middle of New York City at a Coldplay concert where your other age group people are, and you're hugged up, you don't care anymore about your spouses at home. You're done. The relationship's all but fucking done. Like you just haven't ended it fast enough. And why is this phone who keeps trying to call me? Okay, you guys, I'm going to take a quick break and see who keeps trying to call me, call on this line, and put the silencer on, because I don't know why the silencer ain't on. So I'm going to take a quick break and we'll come back with hot topics, okay? All right, guys, we are back. Okay, you know what? I was like annoyed. I was like, I'm about to turn on this thing. Anyway, nothing, okay? But anyway, all right, so back to this Coldplay couple, okay? They knew what was up. These two people wanted it to be over. And when you see blatant things like that, first of all, I say, when people are doing blatant things like that in your relationships and your marriage, in your relationships, in your marriage, relationships, marriage. Okay, when it's gotten to the point where they're no longer sneaking with their person, you know the person's a thing. Now, some people have arrangements, like especially if he's a they say he's a billionaire. You know, his wife might be trying to save face now, but a lot of times, sometimes these people got arrangements in these marriages, or they got open marriages. And they won't try to know about them and stuff like that. A lot of people are doing open marriages and stuff like that, open relationships, and they don't want the. So she might be trying to act like, oh, you know, like, oh, shame. They said she took her last name out, but she might not have known because he's a busy guy. Men like that running around all the time and stuff like that. That's no excuse still to do what you're doing. But I'm just saying, when we've got, and you know, these two are in an emotional relationship. They don't like their spouses anymore. Okay, that's where we at. They might like them, but they kind of done. They doing so much. They doing it so blatantly that they don't care. And why they haven't gotten out the relationship, I always say. Let me see, how can I say this? You are never stuck in something, even if you feel like you are. You know what I'm saying? You never are. You may have made the decision. You may have. I always want people to feel like they're in control of their dynamics. Even if you're in I talk to people real on this show, okay? Because I know, like, life be happening, life be lifing, okay? If you are in a relationship and you know what I'm saying, you always make your decision. Nobody, never let circumstances make the decision for you. Now, circumstances can influence you. Like, you know, I had a person I knew, okay, back in the day, okay, this is so far back in the day because people be listening to my show. Some of my friends be listening to me trying to discern if it's them or if it's this. I'm like, I told them I be mixing 2 and 3 stories together. They don't know what the hell is going on. Are you talking about me? I said, did it sound like you? Okay, don't worry about it. But I knew a group back in a couple back in the day, a couple, and the other person there was not, how can I say, there was a sense that the other couple was getting ready to break up, right? The other person that liked this other person was out there trying to put pressure on the other person too. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it was, and they was telling me, you know, this particular person was telling me about, I'm feeling pressure, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, you never pressured. Your decision is your decision. You have full control of how you move in any situation. You have, because the moment you feel like you don't have control, the moment you start feeling like, I can't get out, I'm stuck, I'm this and that, you may say, hey, circumstances don't permit me, I feel at this time, to move on and do this. Hey, right now I have to get financial situation straight now. Oh, right now it's not that I'm stuck. It's that, hey, I don't want to leave at this point in the game because I want to use wisdom or blah, blah. You got to always, but couples like this who get blatant like this, usually they feel stuck, right? And so at this point, to me, it's when anybody feels stuck with you, it's dangerous, right? It's seriously. I mean, and people can feel stuck, but it's very you have to pay attention to it, because I always see, you know, the one thing I see on the ID channel. I love me some the ID channel, baby. I watch the ID channel every day to see things in myself and others, right? Because the world is crazy, including you, right? So you want to see how people get to this point when they this crazy, right? And most of the pattern is always some fool. Well, usually they sociopaths. Sometimes a lot of these people are sociopaths and psychopaths. They've married into some nutty buddies, okay? That's the first thing. So I'm going to just say, because cheating doesn't lead to anybody murdering anybody. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some people, some situations where it's led to that, but usually somebody's a sociopath or a psychopath or something crazy up in there, okay? But what I see constantly in these relationships where there has been that certain thing is this feeling of the only way I can get rid of you is to knock you off. And that's just not a good thing. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants that. So you do not want to get to that space in your life, okay? You don't want to ever feel stuck nowhere, okay? Now, if you're making some wise choices and some wise ideas and you saying, hey, you know what? At this time in my life, I'm not in a position to make a move. I'm not in a position to do that. That's respect. Ain't my business, but I'm just saying. I can see that if you're saying that to yourself. But when you start to do these kind of things, these two people do not like their spouse. They either don't like their spouses or they're at the point of feeling extremely stuck in their lives. I personally believe that CEOs and they had high positions in their companies, okay? Here's another thing. Just straight up being arrogant. Like ain't what you gonna do? What they gonna do? Cause if I'm leaving, it's like a lot of wealthy dudes out here who got girlfriends and everything like that. You see it all the time in the entertainment business. They will be screwing everything and everybody because they figure you ain't gonna get you. Are you gonna leave me? You gonna leave these yachts? That's what Diddy was daring mofos to leave him. Actually, Diddy was like, what he called that one girl up. And she was like, you're not doing me right. He said, well, you know what? You can go. You know what I'm saying? But you need another month in the house. That ain't fun. That's what he was doing. He said, what you need, another month in the house? And she was like, she was getting upset. And, she tried to call that racketeering and what is it? What's the other word for it? But I'm like, nah, that's just a mofo that you wasn't smart in getting the house in your name and getting them to pay for it. Like now, this is his leverage. His leverage is basically like, you can jump from this relationship, but when you leave me, you leave all the things that come with me. You know what I'm saying? That's like Cassie. Cassie left with that dude. With Cassie left with what's his name with the trainer. Did he farewell? Now Cassie should have did when she was in that relationship, and I would have been like, all right, well deserved, well played. When Cassie was in that relationship, she should have negotiated for a settlement from his ass to keep her ass quiet. Or I would immediately start writing the book quietly. And then next thing he know, it would have been on the bestsellers list. I wouldn't have to get no money from me. I put that motherfucker like Corinne Stephens did. Corinne Stephens didn't consult no fucking, she didn't consult none that I know of. They ain't never heard no stories about Corinne Stephens with that book. What was that book she had? I forget the name of that book Corinne Stephens made all that money from. Talking about all the celebrity rappers. It was actually a very good book. She talked about her life and what she went to, and then she talks about all the relationships and stuff with the rappers and different people that she had relationships with. Her book was, I think, a New York Times bestseller, everything else. Corinne didn't consult no fucking body. Corinne just started writing and published. I think she consulted people, let them know they were going to be in the book. That's what Cassie could have done, okay? But Cassie made her choices. Her choices was to get out here, and she got in a relationship, with a dude who didn't have as much money or something like that, right? But Diddy, what I got to do with it? Because these dudes, men like that, get arrogant about their cash flow and they think. And so it may be same thing with the CEO. He might be, and the other woman. They both have high paying positions. I don't know what their spouses is like. They probably telling them, you can take it or you can leave it. Now y'all saying, oh, they looked embarrassed. No, you know why they looked embarrassed? Because it's the shame of getting caught that way, right? Even though they subconsciously wanted to get caught, get caught. But it's the shame of it being that way. They're looking at these businesses, them being both CEOs and a chief officer. they're looking at how they're going to be embarrassed with their company. They are not thinking about their spouses. That's why they're embarrassed. They're not. It's not about their spouses. Okay. At this point, they're beyond. They're beyond. Um, uh, they're at this point they are beyond that kind of thing. They're beyond that couple thing. Okay. They were embarrassed for the other fallouts that would happen surrounding this. And it is what it is. That's how it goes. That's what was embarrassing them. Okay. They were not embarrassed. My personal opinion is they was not, this is my personal opinion now. All of it is my personal opinion, is that they were not embarrassed about their spouses. Okay. They were not. They were embarrassed because of, and you say, well, Carlotta, if they subconsciously knew this was about they wanted to be called, well, what about just everybody in the company? No, because they just become reckless and they weren't thinking about the other stuff. Like, you know what? Let me just say this. I always say to people, I know life happens. Life happens. And I try not to be as judgmental as I used to be years ago. I try not to be, because that's not right. Because anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? And not all people are dogs or are horrible when they've been caught up in something like an affair. Okay. Sometimes there's lots of things going on or all kinds of things. But what I will say to people is keep it as less fucking messy as fucking possible. I even say this to, listen, any relationship if there is a possibility of a love somewhere else, okay, you have that one conversation, you clear the shit up. Hey, I got feelings. I got feelings for you too. All right, you got to figure out what you're going to do in your life. You got to figure out what you're going to do. All right, blah, blah, blah. Don't do no secret trips to Turks and Caicos. Don't do no secret trips to the Coldplay concert. Don't do none of that shit. Okay? Don't do it. Oh, God. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to say, I'm not encouraging it. I'm just trying to tell y'all how to be less messy as possible, okay? Go back and think through after you have these conversations, after you gain clarity. Maybe you don't need no conversation. I don't know. But after you gain clarity, go back, think things through. Think about, start to look at what it means to be single, because that's what you have to think about. Because that person, listen, as much as them two look hugged up, when the person gets single, is they gonna want them as much? You know what I'm saying? Because some people be in some shit like, I just want them because I can't have them. Like, they in some shit because they can sneak around. These two, though, looks like they tired of their spouse. That's why I say, because when they was doing it blatantly, they look like they tired. When people hiding, they like, I don't want nobody to know. They still got some respect. Y'all like, how you got some respect when you? I'm just trying to tell you. I know y'all don't understand it, but I'm just trying to say, okay? Because see, I would, if I was his wife right now, I'd be like, I'm gonna take half, not because you cheated, not I'm gonna take half because you dumb, because you was out there on a kiss where you knew a camera was rolling around. You didn't give a shit. And if I got some kids, I'm going to be even more mad because I'm saying, you didn't care about the stick where you could at least talk about, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, listen here, what about you could take down the embarrassment as much as possible, okay? And so that's why I say talk it through, have that one deep conversation if you have to clear the air. Oh, my Lord. And then you say, what does this mean to my life? Okay. Why do I like this other person? What is going on here? And is it saying something that this is no longer what I'm in, is no longer working for? Because really sometimes, let me just tell y'all the truth, and I try to keep it, relationships, affairs, things like that, come along to let you know one of two things, okay? And maybe you need to try to spice it up if you can. Maybe you ain't there no more. Okay? I don't know. or it comes along to let you know, to remind you of, hey, maybe this isn't what I should be in. And I realize that hey, I realize marriages ain't that easy to get out of. I understand it. What I'm just saying is though, don't be, you're going to make it harder on your fucking self if you start going to Coldplay concerts where there's cameras roaming around and you the CEO and you got something to fucking lose. I'm trying to get people to think, okay? I ain't being judgmental saying, you should be. No, everybody knows that cheating is bad, okay? But like I said, a lot of stupid things happen out in this world, okay? And a lot of people have gotten married for crazy ass reasons, okay? And you find yourself and you're like, oh, maybe I didn't. I found like I saw this story the other day. I told y'all I watched these twin flame shows. I'm watching this one girl now. I'm like, what the fuck she gonna do? Because her twin flame was out with somebody else the other day. I'm so goofy. My family be like, you so stupid. You don't take nothing seriously. I am taking it seriously. That girl's, one of my friends was telling me, because I was watching the show, I was watching the Twin Flame show, and I was telling her about it, because this girl, she got some, she think that she got a celebrity Twin Flame situation going on, okay? So I was watching her, I'm like, ooh, because I think I know who her Twin Flame is, but I'm not sure, right? Who she think her celebrity Twin Flame is. I don't think he is, but she think it, right? So I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, I'm like, well, I'm ready to hear her drop about how she feels because he was walking around. I'm like, I want to hear the drop. What's the tea, right? But this girl in her life really left somebody. I mean, now, it's interesting. She didn't have this twin flame ain't gave her no indication that he's serious. He ain't gave shit. He might have smiled a couple of times. Maybe signed the autograph. I don't know. At least she ain't said it on the show. Now, she left. I said, whoa, that's some brave shit, right? But what I respect about her is because I think what she saw was, it really wasn't, no, I don't really know if she doesn't think it's about the twin flame. But I think, here's the thing. A lot of the twin flames, a lot of times what's happened is a twin flame has provoked has become a catalyst for their life. They become a catalyst to say, hey, you know what? I should be living better. We don't deserve to be in a relationship like this for each other. We deserve something better for ourselves. And sometimes people can come along and spark something in you that makes you want to do something different. And it's not to hurt anybody. It's just things, because we live in an imperfect fallen world. These things happen, okay? And they're sad when they do, but they do. Now, I just wish these two had thought it out a little bit better before they had to hurt everybody on the kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, where they knew but at that, again, I'm telling you, they don't care. They have gone to the point of no return, where they just didn't give a shit, okay? There's those people too, okay? And where they just don't care. But people who care about others and saying, hey, you know what, I love you, you love me. It's different if we get out here and we be together. It's a different world. You know what I'm saying? So, you need to see where your life's at. They need to see where their life's at. And you've cleared the air, and then go and think through what that means. What has this situation meant for you? So that when you do, if you decide that you're going to leave, don't leave for the other person, because the other person might not be there. People is shitty, okay? I always tell people, don't leave for another person, okay? Well, the other person is influencing me. I'm like, okay, yes, they're going to influence you. They're supposed to, okay, I get that. I get it. Okay, this is even in just relationships. Okay, the other person is going to influence, they're there to influence you. They're there to be a catalyst, but for exactly what? And if you've really saw you've had a long thought process, and you really seen like, yeah, you know what, one thing I've discovered since I've been in this situation that is not entirely good, what I've discovered is that this relationship that I have is not what I want. That's a better approach. You know what I'm saying? Don't sneak off. I know you be burning out there. I know you be wanting them. But don't sneak out the thing. Don't sneak out to the Coldplay concerts. Don't do it, Amy. Don't be Amy and TJ. Oh, it cost them so much. Poor Amy and TJ are my favorite. Who's my favorite? I always go back to her. Cost her whole career, but you know what? She is beautiful now. They live. Those two loved each other. Okay, I say that was some real ish, but they handled it classy. I'm gonna say that. Okay, it wasn't the nicest. It wasn't the nicest because I'm sure it wasn't good at the time. Okay, I always talk about Amy Grant. I always use Amy Grant as an example. Amy Grant did not have an affair with Vince Gill. Okay, they have always said that they did not have an affair, but there was an emotional thing. Okay, they kind of allegedly had a thing. Allegedly, people were saying like they liked each other. It was like they knew it. They knew they was like that's the damn. I'm caught up. She had already had 3 kids with another person. He was married to another person too. Okay, and she was in the super couple of gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like they was the. I'm gonna tell you what they was. They was the Beyonce and what was it? Beyonce and Jay-Z of their time in gospel. I mean in Christian music. Gospel, they were more white side as Christian music, okay? But here's the kicker. I think Amy Grant said in one of her interviews I saw, I can't remember, but she said she always knew something was off. He doesn't feel that way. He said he never felt that way. He was brokenhearted, okay? Even though he remarried and everything like that. But Amy said from the get-go, but there was so much pressure because she was like, they was a hot Christian couple. And she was the biggest Christian recording star on the planet. And then that Vince Gill walked in there singing them love songs. What's that Vince Gill, that song they did together? And people said you could see it in the room. They couldn't help it. You could see it singing each other in the room. But people was like, oh boy, them two about to be done for. It's about to be cooked, these relationships they in. Right? So much to the point, allegedly, they said, I'm just quoting because I can't remember all the articles, but allegedly they said, Gary Chapman? I forget, Stephen Curtis Chapman said, I forget which one she was married to because it's 2 Stephen Chapmans. I forget. But he said, basically, or Gary. She was married to Stephen or Gary. I can't remember. Okay. One of them said, shit. Which one of you going to pull the trigger first? Like for divorce. Because you could see the chemistry popping out. Like they pop. She stayed in that marriage another 2 to 3 years because she just couldn't. She was in denial. And plus, you know what? I think she said she was trying to figure out her life. It wasn't just about no Vince Gill. It was about her life. And then when she got out of it, she didn't even see Vince Gill allegedly didn't even mess with the man for another year. But when she did, everybody was suspecting that it was an affair. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, oh, it's just the thought of it. Oh, they've been out here messing around forever. But they weren't. They didn't really even have, they just knew that this ain't for me. I made a mistake here, okay? And so, I mean, but I feel like she kind of handled it right. They kind of handled it right, even though they got accused of an affair. And I think why that was because they had an emotional connection, and that when people would see them, because they done music together and stuff like that. And when you got 2 artistic people together and all that stuff, it's hard for them. Artistic and creative people, it's hard to hide. They got some sparks, okay? So I think that people saw that and people was assuming that, but she did not. That was not her truth. She actually tried to fight for the ish, okay? And it just didn't work out. And then now she's been with Vince Gill like over 20 some years. They have a child together. They all have what is it? What's some families, like the interactive family and stuff like, you see the ex might still be a little like, I still think I wasn't right, right? But I feel like it was handled, as much as it could be. It didn't. But it cost her a lot. It made her career. Her career fell apart. That's why I say, don't even get to where the sparks show in public. Okay, you might see it a little bit. Somebody might see it a little bit, but when that gets to the point, then have that conversation, and then make some major decisions to kind of separate and trust the process. So y'all won't have a Coldplay moment. Okay, that's how I feel about that. And please don't be writing me talking about I'm not encouraging people. I'm telling y'all what's real out here, and I'm trying to tell, because a lot of y'all are probably listening right now, and y'all, I'm just trying to tell you how to do it where you have somebody gonna be hurt, but where it's the least, where you ain't TJ and ain't. Okay, we ain't these two people, Chris and whatever her name was. Okay, at the Coldplay concert, out loud, living out loud, like they was both single. They was stupid. First of all, I'll be mad because you was stupid. That's what I'm mad about. I'm mad because you stupid. You stupid and you really don't like me. You could have told me a long time ago you didn't like me like that. You out here at the Coldplay concert where any of our friends could have been. You out here at the sister. You could have came to tell me, hey, you know what? I'm feeling stressed. I want separation or something like that. You could have came and said that. But you got to get to the point where you at the Coldplay concert embarrassing my ass, and I got some kids up in here, and I got to explain to them why your ass was at the Coldplay concert with another woman. That's messed up, okay? That's jacked up, all right? So if you can avoid that, do so, okay? I'm telling you though, when sex starts getting involved, okay, even though emotions can get involved, when you're emotionally in love, you're emotionally in love, okay? But when sex becomes a part of it, it's almost, you're gonna get blatant. You're gonna get blatant. Now, some people are not that dumb though. Some people, like will be over there, they might be at the concert in Japan. And I still wouldn't be out in the front where nobody gets. You got to be in the back. You got to be in the dark. They didn't care. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about them too. So there's my answer on that. Them people didn't care. Them people was ready. Them people ready to get a divorce. Okay, they ready to be together. Even are they ready? Are they ready to be single? That's just like that time y'all all caught. Remember when y'all all caught that Pacific basketball player's mama sitting on somebody's lap? Remember that? And then about a year or two later, it was revealed her and the husband was done. Okay, they was done. But they was trying to keep the... And she probably, because I don't know if the situation became sexual, I don't know. But see, when it gets sexy, you got to be very careful. That's all I'm just trying to say, because you're gonna end up people gonna end up hurt in the situation. People gonna end up hurt anyway, but they're gonna end up hurt in the situation. And sometimes, and if you're seeing that, the best way too is sometimes I've known people who have. And I know all kinds of people. I know people who just has messed up their relationships, their marriages, all kinds of stuff. And so I know people who have gotten out of marriages cleanly, where the other spouse did not know about the other person. They got out cleanly and smoothly. Okay, you do not have to be. I'm trying to tell y'all. The problem is y'all got a lot of social media and shit going on. Y'all too busy wanting to post these motherfuckers pictures. I mean, are you too quick to, you too much, you going in public where cameras is everywhere nowadays and stuff like that, and you don't communicate well. Listen, I'm just trying to tell you, there's no good way to do it, but there is a way without hurting people. I'm just trying to say, it's without hurting them, where it's horrible. We're like this is horrible, okay? So, and there's nothing good about it, but life happens. I just really hate to say this, and I know I make a lot of people mad because a lot of y'all in Delulu. But listen, it happens. It's the worst thing. It's horrible, and it doesn't feel good to the other person. However, now I bet they was in denial for a long time too. Because that's what be happening to a lot of these women. A lot of these women be knowing. I got friends been cheated. They be knowing. And they be hanging on. I be like, girl, you better go on and let go before they get blatant. And when they get blatant, they out and buried. I'm like, you knew though. You knew he was a bum. Now, some people ain't no bums. Some people know you knew he wanted to get out. Like I had one group, two people I knew that was married together. They was married since they was young. And the way they got married was because she got pregnant and the dude felt obligated to marry her. Now that's already shaky ground. It's already getting shaky. Okay. So now this person feels in a forced marriage. Okay, they stay together for years, but the pressure of finances and all that kind of shit started coming in and caving in. And he was ready to get out of that. Okay. She's steady knowing it's a shaky ground. You see it's shaky ground. She gonna get pregnant again. And he's so stupid, he got her pregnant again, okay? Now you got two to contend with versus one. Right? So now it's you deeper in. And so he's having this little side thing. She get mad. I'm like, what you get mad? This man don't like you. He won't out and you won't let him. Let him out. But no, you don't love him. You feel like you feel the decision, your decisions weighing heavily on you. Oh God, I'm gonna make them mad. They're gonna be writing me. Women are going to be writing me very angrily when I say this all the time, that a lot of times with women, we see early on that somebody's not right, or that we've given a chance to the playboy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you've given a chance to the playboy and the playboy hasn't necessarily cleaned up his act, And so you know it kinda, but you still in fucking the night. So what you do is not all the, and this just doesn't happen with men, it happens with women too. Men will try to trap women too, but you will try to trap this guy with a baby. Okay. And the baby, trust me, the baby ain't gonna work, okay? Because if they ain't want to clean up their act, the baby ain't gonna work. Then you get what you want. You get them to marry you. But you still know they ain't about that. Like, he really don't want this. Like, he really don't like you like that. He's like, I like you, but damn, not like this. You know what I'm saying? So he's already giving you the thing. You still keep trying. And for some reason, he keeps staying there with you, probably because you easy pickings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So you get in this marriage. And then you make another dumb decision to get pregnant a second time. So you further trapped. But men are not as trapped sometimes as women. That's why I say, my grandmother used to tell me all the time, all the old ladies, like when I used to go to the salon when I was a little girl, with my grandma and them, they be having all the old women be sitting up in the salon back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, they be all talking and laughing. And they said, honey, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. That was their favorite thing to say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. And that means if it was the real daddy or not, that mama was going to have most of the responsibility for raising them kids, for gearing them kids. If they break up, daddies can run off. They can do whatever. They usually have their life, sing their life. And so unless you were one of them hard women and drop them kids out, there's some women like, what's that happened to Tina Turner? Remember the movie with Ike and Tina? What that girl after she shot herself when Ike and Tina was going to be together? And then she came and dropped them kids off at Ike and Tina's house and left them kids with Ike and Tina. That she was different. She different. She said, damn that. I'm going to drop these kids right off with Ike and his girlfriend. Okay, don't leave me. I about to get these kids. Okay, so you got some women like that, but for the most part, most women will take on the big parts of these marriages. That's why you have to be, as a woman, you always have to. Even the more you have children, the more, yes, you're in something where you're hoping that that person is committed as you are and you're committed as they are. But a lot of time the seed for a lot of these commitments is not on stable ground. That's why they end up exploding. Okay, they're for the seed of commitment is for a lot of reasons. Reasons and motives unbeknownst to y'all when y'all at the wedding. Well, some people be knowing like, girl, these two fools, no, they shouldn't be getting married. One of my cousins went to this wedding, and she was like, girl, she came home. She said, why you didn't come to the wedding? I said, girl, I ain't coming to that mess, cause I knew the people wasn't. I know they was messy. Okay. Get married. I said, and they was calling me, telling me she gonna come to the wedding. I said, listen, no. We really want you there. I said, I wish I best of luck. I got something to do that day. And my cousin called me, told me, why you went at the wedding? I said, because I just know it's a hot mess. They might, what they do, they playing themselves. Now maybe God come through and bless it. But for the most part, these motherfuckers playing themselves. And I was right. They was making each other miserable within 3 months. Okay, I'm just saying, a lot of these marriages, and that's why you have affairs and crazy situations happen. Sometimes affairs can happen where the seed is right. I'm not saying that either, but I'm just saying that a lot of people have crazy motives, and so a lot of these women, when you get in these marriages, a lot of women be upset because they left with the heavy responsibility of what this relationship has cost them. See, ladies, you got always the heaviest responsibility in any marriage or relationship. When you get in that shit, I mean, unless you ain't got no kids, okay? And then you can still have the heaviest cost, especially if you're a hypergamous or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can have some heavy costs there, because women, marriage makes women richer, wealthier, right? So the cost. So women so you always have to be aware that what this game is going to cost you, especially when you start having children. That's why this little girl, one of my little girlfriends who's so beautiful and smart, bad chick, okay? She got it going on. But her little boyfriend who's wealthy was like, I want to get married. She was considered, everything is business. Now, I ain't mad at her because I can't be mad. I don't know. I'm like, man, this is a new world. I mean, everything is straight fucking business. I said, shit, I can't be mad at that. She's like, she having a conversation with me when I said, well, what are you going to do? She said, well, first of all, I told him we have to have a sit down. I'm going to get my lawyers if we decide to do this. She said, and I'm not sure I want to do this because she said, I'm having so much fun in my life right now. What I'm doing, I'm traveling, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm creating business. You know, she's like, I'm having a good time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if marriage is what I want to do. I said, okay, I ain't mad. I ain't going to argue with you. And she says to me, she says, but what I do understand, and, tell me how you feel about this. She said, I told him that if we do, children are costly for a woman. I said, okay. And she said, that will be $1 million a baby. I said, damn, you asking for Beyonce numbers. That's alleged Beyonce numbers. She said, well, he's got it. And I was like, shh. She said, so it's costly for me to have a child. It's costly for me. And this was several years back. She knew it was costly that she's going to take on, that she becomes at a disadvantage when she has children. She was so smart. She understood that. And she was like, pfft. Now, some men are out there saying, yo, like, wait a minute. Women take money all the time in marriages. It's getting so men are getting a little smarter with that too. Okay, but with alimony and stuff like that, the cost of things. I mean, look at 50 Cent. It's ridiculously paying that girl 4,000 or 5,000 a month, and Diddy paying 10,000 a month for rent. That's crazy. That's wild. Okay. And she live in California. I would say it wouldn't be ridiculous other places, but California, might need to give her a little bit more. But but a lot of women get in marriages and you're not thinking about the cost that it costs you. Marriage is not, how can I say this? The women like Shira, I like Chloe, but women like Shira, I like Shira too, but Shira makes very valid points. You have to come in with some business sense about these relationships, because if a man cheats or does this or does anything, if you're left raising the children, it's going to be at a disadvantage to you as far as when you get out into the new world, to dating, to gaining another relationship. For men, they can say, I got 2 kids to women, and yeah, I get them on the weekends. I have them at Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and women are okay with it. But men are kind of okay with other men, but it depends on what kind of man you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you can't give away your womb so easily. Like your womb, especially outside of marriage. Don't give your womb away outside no marriage, okay? I'll be like, nope, nope. Unless we sign a contract regarding some kids and stuff like that. We got some contractual agreements. Right? But giving your womb up, a lot of women pay the cost. And so that's why I say women be so angry about divorce and cheating and all these things. Sometimes they really, because they losing your ass, it's because of the price they have paid to be with you. Not only the price have they paid in terms of their womb, their time. I'm sure that wife gonna be well compensated though. Their time, because women over the years, when you after a certain age, you know what I'm saying, women out here, it's gonna be hard. I'm not saying for everybody, but sometimes for women it might be hard for you dating after a certain age. Some of y'all, okay, so it changes life, especially when you invest that time. And women have men say they got the most to lose. No, you just got pocket change to lose, which you can always get back. But women who are on a timetable constantly in their life have a lot to lose, right? A lot to lose. That's why I say, even when you like a woman out here and she older, or you got a woman that you care for, or something like that, you better let her. She on the timetable. She ain't trying to play no games with you. She certain age, you got like, what you want? They can't play no games, because when you get these marriages, it costs something. That's why women deserve the money sometimes I think they get, because it costs a lot to give up your womb, your life force, your time. Women on a timer. I even heard the other day about some woman was like, she was in the middle of a divorce, or separation, or divorce. I forget what it was, and she was saying another man was asking her out, and he just wasn't clear about his intentions. She's like, I don't got time. And he was like, well, I figure you just gotta get it. She said, what you want? I mean, I just don't got time. What is it that you need? Make your intentions clear, or keep you pushing. I'm living. I'm in the middle. I got a strategy for everything I'm doing at this point. I'm too old for anything else. And so you get that, because women understand that they are at a disadvantage the older they get, and when they have children. So I get this. I get why women get so angry about, more than men sometimes. Men just leave. Know this about when a man gets cheated on, or with a man, men usually don't stay. Some men stay for cheating if you cheated on them and you kept it, and it was low, and it was kept on the low. Some men will stay, but most of the time men leave. You know what I'm saying? Because men just figure they can pick up right where they can go somebody else. Women, however, it's a little bit more of very angry and everything like that. And I understand that, but I also would say you would wish them love if you start to prepare. I always say to young girls, like my little friend was doing, prepare for the cost that you will take. If you prepare for that cost, if they come to you with anything crazy, you be like, you might be hurt, but you be like, you know what? I wasn't no sitting ducking this. I prepared. So if your ass about to walk out that door and you got a little coin, no, I'm about to get some, right? No, I'm about to. No, not only am I about to get this coin, I might always love you, but no, it's gonna be some healing coming when you pay this alimony for these kids. And this child support. Okay? Because we already signed business to it. You know, like it's not, now you might be upset with your time. Time is something you can't gain back. But if you decided to invest in this person, be clear about where that person was and what that relationship was when you invested in it. You know what I'm saying? Like be clear. It's so much that sometimes we women are not very clear. You know what I'm saying? We're not very clear about what we are in marriages or who we are in marriages and stuff like that. And I always tell my little young girls friends, I be saying, look at the little shit. It's always the little shit. Little things tell you a lot. Like I had one of my family members call me up. And they was asking me, you know, should they let the boyfriend, he was graduating from school. And so he wanted to come hang out my family member's daughter's house for the summer, hang out with her. They in college, right? He graduated from college, she got another year left, right? And so they was calling me to see what my thoughts was. And I said, you know what my thoughts are? I said, and they was like, what? I said, why the fuck he ain't looking for no job? Why he trying to spend the summer up under her ass? And they was like, I didn't think about that. I was like, you should. And you should be putting that little bug in her ear. Why he want to spend all of his time up under you? Because, you know, listen, I don't know. I like a focuser. I like somebody who say, hey, baby, you know, I'm going to miss you this summer. Can you come see me for the week? You know what I'm saying? They come say, if you come, hey, you can come see me, visit me for the weekend while I'm looking for a job in such and such time or whatever. We'll spend some time, a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks together and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But why did he want to forego? You fresh out of school and you want to go look for jobs. You want to come hang out with her. You don't want to go look for jobs. That's crazy to me. Right? You got to focus because you just out of school. You can be the focus. You don't need to be focusing on her ass. You know what I'm saying? So what that told me was his priorities was fucked up and that he was too focused on her and that if she decides ever to leave or something like that, how is he going to take that shit? You know what I'm saying? You got little things. And she eventually told me she got that. She saw that. But it's little stuff like that. A lot of women will think of that as a compliment and be letting the person come there. Oh yeah, he's so into me and stuff like. No, that doesn't mean that. That means he might be so misguided, so off. He don't got his priorities straight. It's little things that people miss when they get in these situations, and you know what I'm saying. And the thing is, none of us are perfect. So if you see the little things, then you prepare to deal with them and how to handle them. But if you don't, and you ain't gonna see everything, but you know what I'm saying? If you don't, you're gonna be, especially, I always said my favorite scripture is it's the small fox, what's this? The small foxes that spoil the vine. It's the little things, okay? So that's what we'll leave that at. See, I gave y'all another It's a Word for free. Somebody need to hear that. It really is the little things. I'm telling you shit. Okay. On to this other news. What y'all want me to hear? I see y'all talking about Angela Bassett. Let me tell y'all something about Angela, okay? Let me pull her up. Listen. Look at her. This makes no sense at 66 years old. How? Let me let y'all see her. How She is fire. Okay, look at that skin, baby, baby. Angela's no joke. Angela is no fucking joke, okay? Y'all can't fuck with Angela shit. Y'all can't. No. Angela is not playing out here at 60. Angela, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna be fired like you at 60. That's what my plan. I love it. Oh my God. You see that body, yaddy, 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 yaddy? Now you hear her eat playing when she eats. Crazy. I was like trying to write it down. I said, hold up, Angela. Shit. I don't know. I gotta pray. I'm gonna have to you know how to do this diet is crazy. She is gorgeous. Okay, I heard all y'all talking about Angela. Angela's fire. Okay, she's beautiful. You can't really. What can you say? I mean, she's always been though. You knew Angela was gonna be beautiful years ago. Look at Angela's cheeks and her facial structure. It's like who was beautiful their whole life. Who another person was beautiful. Lena Horne. Lena Horne was beautiful her whole life. They said Lena Horne was gorgeous in her 90s. Lena Horne was like you can see. Sometimes it ain't really about what you eat and stuff. It's your bone structure too. Like your how it's set up your face. Thank your mama and your grandma and them and your daddy and them and pop mama and them. when what's her name, Victoria? When they said put that on my mama on my hood, that's for real. Because sometimes it's the bone, it's the bone structures and stuff like fire. Okay, fire. You know, I was looking the other day. My grandfather's my side of my mom's side of the family. Okay, I have a very confusing. Back in the day, they was doing all kind of wild stuff. Okay, I was raised being my mom, and then me and my mom and my uncle was raised by my step grandfather. But that's very much my real grandfather. That's the only person I know. That's my daddy, really. My dad. I love my dad. My dad's around, but that's who raised me. I never knew anybody different. But I did know my real grandfather, right? And so I was looking at my cousins and stuff. We were all, we cool. And my cousins and stuff, they so beautiful. We all got this same, like he like branded us with a look. We laugh because we all laugh when we talk to each other. We all got that look. Everybody got that look. And it's but those are like good. It's just like you got that brand. I mean, and we all look like, you can tell we're all kin. You can just say like, wow, yeah, they family. To the point my grandmother tells the story about how he wasn't trying to pay child support. It was something her and they take my mom and them and her sister, one of her sisters. Let me see this about my real grandfather. Papa was a rolling stone. He was really a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his fucking home, okay? No. Wherever he laid his hat. And he's got so much mystery about him, okay? We only know, we know, like we know only certain little things. Like, he was bilingual because his father was supposedly some sort of Spanish person, okay? He's the stick out in his brothers and sisters, and he just grew up. He just was wild, right? But this man he was trying to deny because he didn't want to pay child support. So my mom and the other her sister's mom comes down to the courthouse with my mom, and they both little, and the judge looks at both the kids and said, "These little kids look like twins, sir, and they look just like you." How are you seeing it? And he never denied. But it just, goodness. The man had so many children. He was ridiculous, okay? The fuck? Like, he was just so many kids, okay? But I'm glad I got to meet him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad. It was really, I always laugh at the way I got to meet him. It was very strange. My grandmother, I think, had planned it. My grandfather was probably pissed as fuck. But I feel like I was glad she did it. And I think later on he told me he was glad that happened because I needed to know. But listen, they all had a look. Everybody, all his kids have a look. They all do. So sometimes it's hereditary when you're looking like Angela Bassett. Okay, but Angela also eats well. She exercises. She probably gets good rest. I don't know. In show business, they claim to get good rest, but sometimes they lifestyle. If you off work, maybe you get good rest. Okay, but yeah, she is gorgeous. Okay, just beautiful. Okay, so I'm not surprised by Angela looking like she's looking right now. Okay. All right. So what's these other stories y'all want me to talk about? Shit, what is going on out here? Let me pull it up. I know I got something else. Shannon Sharp settles rape lawsuit. Should I say grape? Do y'all kids want me to say grape? Settles grape lawsuits. I hate it. I hate it. I do not like the language police. I do not say it is. Nobody's saying grape. What's going on around here? Me. Now I gotta discern the language of the grape and unalived, and I'm like, what in the world? It makes no sense to be language. I think people do that to see there are things introduced into society to see the levels of control that people, the powers that be, can have. This is my personal opinion, because the more you use grapes and the more you use unalive, they become just as powerful as dead and raped, because everybody knows after a while what you're talking about, and they become just as triggering. So it makes no sense. It's all about what you put behind words and when you say them and how you say them. It's not about the words you use. That's just being language police, politically incorrect, and just crazy. Okay. But anyway, this is from TMZ Sports. It says the attorney representing the woman accusing Shannon Sharp of rape said Friday both sides have agreed to a settlement in the civil case. Tony Busby's ass, okay, announced in a statement on his Instagram page that after a protracted and respectful negotiations, Sharp and his accuser reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. No word on the specifics of the couple's pact, but Busby added, all matters have now been addressed satisfactorily, and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. Okay, a woman ID'd only as Jane Doe sued Sharp back in April, alleging the NFL legend brutally assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025 following a year-long abusive relationship. The woman who claims she met Sharp in 2023 at a gym in Los Angeles when she was 20 years old called Sharp controlling and verbally abusive. Days after the filing the suit, Busby released an audio file which a man sounding like Sharp can be heard appearing to threaten, fucking choke the shit out of you. And you know what, that kind of, when he was talking to her, sounded kind of weird. To me, it sounded like they talk to each other like that all the time, like it was kind of what's some BDS, like BDSM, is that right? How you say it? The kind of 50 Shades of Grey shit. That's what I saw it as. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though Shannon ain't no 50 Shades of Grey. And what I mean, he don't got that look like the Christian. Like Christian in the movie 50 Shades of Grey, you can see why he was such an intense and dark, handsome character. But very mysterious. So you can see how he's getting that shit off. But I can't see how Shannon get off. But women, it is what it is, okay? He says, I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. Okay, he already settled. Let's just put it at that. Okay, this is a warning for you men out there. I am saying in today's time, for you sexually, you think you rock stars and you actors and singers and CEOs, whatever you are, and regular people, just in your life, let me tell you something. It's another world out here. These people ain't playing. They trying to get coins. If you got money, man, Diddy sitting right there. Diddy sitting right in jail right now. Diddy ain't got no business being in jail to me, actually. But and I'm getting ready to talk about Maureen Comey being fired, okay? Not surprising, okay? But these people are going to try to get coins out of you. You got to be careful sleeping the fuck around. You better know these mofos. It's sad for you new kids coming in, you know, because I know y'all wanted the groupies. Y'all might can't have groupies. Groupies might go out of style. You was playing that. I wanted to get the groupie life too. No, the groupies gonna go out of style because these groupies is coming back time back there. I didn't mean I was abused in a relationship for a buddy. Oh, it wasn't so nice. You know what happened to me? I mean, they get money, man. But let me be clear though. I'm telling you, look at Cassie right now. Cassie getting a lawsuit thrown at her ass. Okay, I had to laugh when I saw it. The dude, the dude is accusing her. One of the sex workers is accusing her of giving him allegedly an STD and allegedly of aborting a baby and all this stuff. He's suing her and Diddy. Look at the tangle web we weave. Now the sex workers is coming out saying they expose them. See, she gonna find out. Child, hopefully that money don't. Hopefully that money don't go in no lawsuits. Cause how many of them sex workers y'all was messing with? You was messing with over them years. With Diddy, ain't gonna be pretty, man. It ain't gonna pretty, right? More money, more problems. Okay, I'm just telling you, men out there, be careful. Get to know somebody. Sit down and have a dinner. I know you got the rock star life. You can pick them out. You can wear your little robes and all this. You just pick them out the crowd. You know, I mean, you know, I know how you rock stars roll or you what is rappers roll, but just take some time to get to, cause listen, these girls they own one. And you know what? Here's the thing about them. They wait. They wait to cut. Like these motherfuckers will wait 5 and 10 years down the line and come back and be like, go to Tony Busby and be like, hey, I remember 5 years ago he gave me Molly. I didn't know where I was at. And I'm not talking about for the real chicks who have really bad things happen to them and they are telling the truth. I'm talking about these liars be having relationships and be mad. They done got mad at the man for something and now they want to come get some coin. I don't know where I was at. I mean, it just happened, and I just want to. Now I need $20 million for me to feel whole. Y'all better be careful. They ain't playing. They ain't playing. It's a new school. Shannon is proof of that. It's a new school out here, okay? New school is not playing. Okay, so Marine Comey gets fired. Was it her day off? Wow, man. Diddy, I don't know if this is good or bad for you, okay? But it might be good. I see it as a good thing, okay? What to know about Marine Comey, Epstein prosecutor reportedly fired by Department of Justice. Marine Comey, federal prosecutor who worked with both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal cases, was fired on Wednesday, Political First reported, okay? Let me see. I don't want to get this. What's this going to go? Oh, God, I don't have to sign in for this one. I hate when I have to sign in. Okay, hold on. Put it back up here. Let me look it up for y'all. I had to get my other article because I be hating to sign up. Okay, the Marine got fired this week. Okay, a lot of people. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's go right here. Okay, this is an article from The Hill. Let me see. It says Marine Comey, a career federal prosecutor and daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, issued a fiery memo a day after being ousted from her job at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, telling colleagues that fear is the tool of a tyrant, wielded to suppress independent thought. Do the right thing, the right way, for the right reasons, without fear, retribution, without favor to the powerful. Maureen, please. Comey wrote in the Thursday message, which was obtained by multiple outlets. For the majority of my nearly 10 years as Southern District of New York, and Southern District of New York, you are known as one of the most, a lot of people think y'all scandalous, okay? So fear was never really conceivable. We don't fear bad press. We have the luxury of exceptional security keeping us physically safe. Girl, shut up. It's so long as we did our work with integrity. No, you did not. You tried to bring up a case. Oh, I got to read her after I get this. We did our work with integrity. We would get to keep serving the public in. We would get to keep serving the public in this office, she said. Comey was fired Wednesday from her post at the U.S. Attorney's Office, where she worked for nearly a decade. Why? Because she lost two major cases. First of all, she lost Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide under their watch, so they never get to bring him to trial. And that Ghislaine Maxwell trial was just something to feed the public. And Diddy was really the dumbest trial you could have ever brought. It was so dumb. It was such an indictment against her. She should have been fired. And the people, they really shouldn't have found Diddy guilty on those other two charges. But she didn't prove. She tried to bring up a RICO case on him so she could go after other entertainers, because they are fucking not going after real sex traffickers. You're trying to go after people up here with consent, having relationships with consensual women who are consenting, because they're easier for you to keep that 95 percentile rate up instead of going after these real drug lords, human traffickers and shit like that. It's embarrassing that she brought that case to trial. Grown ass Cassie and grown ass Daphne. Allegedly James Doe. Trying to get got they asses up there to big top. That, and especially the James Doe, when Diddy's still paying your shit. Girl, the nerve of you. This was embarrassing. That's what the jurors saw it was a stupid crowd. Now she's trying to blame Trump. Trump is the reason. Tyrant. It's a twerk of a tyrant. It's Trump's fault that you failed to. You didn't even get to pull off the Jeffrey Epstein case, and Ghislaine was just a freak of nature because everybody was just mad and wasn't seeing straight in the public eye. You shouldn't have got Ghislaine Maxwell, really, to be honest, because I don't believe none. I'm starting to believe Jeffrey Epstein's a hoax. Well, like, what you mean, Jeffrey Epstein? I started to think he was a front man for something else. You can't never trust the public. You can't never trust the government. Ever. Okay? Try your best to always be aware of government. And now Barack better watch out, because I heard some language the other night about Barack that I was really nervous about. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Barack, I hope you ain't about to be the black president on 24. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But Comey, is no surprise that she was fired. She's up there acting like it's, girl, you gonna get fired. You brought taxpayers, you wasted taxpayers' money with this Diddy trial, and you damn near look like you gave up halfway in that trial. You knew that shit wasn't right. You knew that wasn't no RICO case. She trying to set precedents, bum ass. That's what you get. Thank you for firing her. Shout out to the firees, because she wasted. I know women don't want to hear it. It was a waste of taxpayers' money. Cassie was a waste. Just because Cassie was getting her ass whooped, Cassie did not go to the state. Cassie didn't ever call the police. The reason I don't want y'all to get mad at the jurors. Don't get mad at the jurors. The jurors did the right thing. Who you need to get mad at is Cassie's ass. Cassie never, not one time. Even her friend called the police. That motherfucker didn't even speak after her friend called the police, okay? Cassie never called the police on Diddy. Never. Even when she claimed to be scared of Diddy, she wrote that letter talking about, please, judge, don't release him. I'm scared. Bitch, you ain't scared of him. You know why I know you ain't scared of him? Because your bitch ass left with the trainer, first of all. Then you show back up 3 to 4 years later, asking that man, trying to allegedly what seems like blackmail that man to get some money. If you were scared, you wouldn't. No, if Diddy was Gotti, you wouldn't be blackmailed. If Diddy wanted to get you, he would have got your ass when you tried to blackmail him. You're lying. I don't know who put her up to that. That was stupid. When she wrote after Diddy got found not guilty, and she wrote the judge talking about, I feel scared. Girl, you ain't feeling scared of shit. She's the most bold motherfucker I ever seen, okay? I said what I said. Y'all can be mad all day. Okay, I done seen them type of chicks before. Okay, y'all don't know because it's hard for you nice women who live a nice little life in your nice little suburban homes or wherever you at, and it's hard for you to believe that these kind of chicks exist in the world. Oh yes, motherfuckers exist like this. Okay, it really is. Okay, and she's one of them. Okay, she trying to sometimes she's scared of Diddy. Girl, you ain't scared of shit. Not you. If you wielded $20 million out of his ass, ain't shit to be scared of. That judge was stupid because I would have been like, nah, baby. He gave you $20 million. He could have, if he was gonna take you out, he could have took you out before he gave you that $20 million. If Diddy so bad, Diddy so, you know what I'm saying? I never believed none of them were scared of Diddy. Okay. And that's the kind of case she brought up there. That's what she brought. That was her star witness against Diddy for sex trafficking. And really, you should have been embarrassed because she was telling you was a hoe. That's what she was saying the whole time. Marine Comey said Cassie was calling you a hoe. In my opinion. Grown ass woman talking about she's sex trafficked by Diddy. Marine Comey, this is not the result of Donald Trump. This is the result of dumb cases. Okay, moving on. Trying to pull that crap. What that bitch? It makes me, when people say Cassie was scared, that makes me so mad. I be like, how? Like, you know, can you imagine going with, like, back in the day, the mafia, like, what's his name? I just watched the other day, what's that dude who was the mafia killer, big time, and he had a lot of big mafia businesses. I forget his name, but he ended up snitching. What was his name? He was like the mafia's biggest assassin and stuff. I forget, what was his name? Was it start with an S? But whatever, I was like, shit, who gonna cheat on his ass? Nobody, because you scared. You like, oh no. You might run away, but you ain't cheating. And going back to the house and laying up. Now, he was trying to compare Diddy to those type of dudes. This girl had a separate room, a separate hotel room for her burner phone for her other man. Girl, this girl ain't scared of nobody. That girl wasn't scared of no Diddy. And them fights was probably, I'm going to tell you the truth. I know people have to get mad. It's probably a little foreplay. I know people like that too, who just so toxic with each other. They like to fight each other. The women like to get beat up. The men, they like to argue. And if you jump in the middle of them mofos, they will fight you, okay? That was them too. What she say on the stand? When she said, do you still love Diddy? She pauses. I love our past. How you fuck you gonna love your past when he was kicking your ass all up and down them hallways and stuff? How you gonna and he got men allegedly pissing in your mouth and stuff like that? How you gonna love your past? You know why you love your past? Because you love what you was doing. No case. It was no case. Nobody at that point. I was like, what the fuck is they here for? What is this case all about? For Jane Doe. When she got up there talking about, is it worth my body? And talking all that stuff about Diddy, and Diddy still paying your rent at $10,000 a month. Girl, you shouldn't have your ass even sitting in the seat. Nobody can take you seriously after that. You got a mofo in here for sex trafficking your old ass, because she's old ass. And you still getting your rent paid and your lawyer's fees paid by this man. Girl, get out of here. Get your ass out of here. You ain't got time. Marine, that's the case you brought to trial, calling it RICO. You have got to be kidding. You deserve that. They did a good job firing you. Now get it straight. Get your life straight. This makes no sense. Moving on. It just ticks me. I mean, come on. She tried to set precedent. I'm so glad they knew not to do it. Oh, I'm so glad that jury was smart and brilliant and knew not to take the bait. They knew it. In other news, Rings tired ass. Okay. Did we talk about Malcolm Lee? I think we did this week. Okay, y'all know all about Fox Sports. Man, they up at Fox Sports. Let me tell you something, okay? They fired everybody. And you know what? The way they did it, they made it. They kind of it was kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? They waited a few months after the lawsuit. But they did all of men, including Joy Taylor, including Acho. They swept the rug. So it's done, okay? And you know the whole thing that's sad about this, and I say this because really nobody really knows if that really I know a lot of people, you know, just assuming that Joy is guilty of those things and all that stuff, but really we don't know if the stuff is true. It's just that the allegations themselves got them turned up. Now they had to have found out something because they did get rid of the guy that allegedly Joy, the CEO, that she was allegedly having an affair with, or the big guy that does all the shows. Listen, I always say, even if for the purposes of moving up the ladder, what's my favorite saying? Don't make your honey where you make your money. You can't be sleeping with your bosses and stuff. You can't. And then what was bad, because the girl said in the lawsuit that she felt like that when she told Joy Taylor that allegedly when she told Joy it wasn't smart to sleep with her boss, especially if you married. And see, it was all messy because the lady claimed that Joy brought her and the man brought the husband to lunch. Oh God, jeez, you can't do that. God, my God, it's just messy, okay? Allegedly, and the girl told Joy that, and Joy said, "Well, you know what? Allegedly, Joy said this. There's no proof, but they said allegedly Joy said she'll just me to him." How terrible. Like knowingly screwing that man to move up, and allegedly you say, I'll just me too him. That's how Me Too done got out of hand. And we really do need Me Too movements for right things. But these mofos is just going to use Me Too movements because they don't want to take no responsibility. And I'm not saying Joy said that, but if she did, that was trifling. Okay. And allegedly, Joy was having an affair with Acho, and that's how she got on the facility and all that. Allegedly. Okay. Just messy, okay. They can't have that over there at Fox. Fox was tired. Fox was like, no, not going to do all that. Not going to do all that. Y'all, Emperor and his wife was on this week, and there is a lot going on with Barack Obama. Barack Obama is shaking people up with some of the ish that he's saying, okay? People ain't happy. People not happy. People not liking what some of the things Barack moving, the way Barack's moving out here, okay? But Michelle said, let y'all know out in these streets, this is her man. And she having a relationship with this man. It's still going on. Listen, these people is not going to divorce. This is politics. These are political marriages. I mean, you know, people, they understand what it is. They might have their side people, allegedly. I mean, I don't know. I know it's a political marriage, and they ain't going to get out that quick. Okay? These people, see, some marriages is about power, influence. Oh no, some shit is wielding the throne a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, those are things I didn't. You gotta wield the throne. Listen, I tell the little young girls out here, like, you got to look a little bit about how the person can will, especially where you're going. Depends on where you're going. If you're going to be a power broker, then you might need somebody got some power behind them. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure this out. You got to figure, because certain men, you got to figure out where the man is driving you to, okay? And see, Barack and Michelle, they marriage is about more than love. They marriage is power and power broken. They got that in common. These things create unity. Even if they don't even have sex with each other, it's still a marriage of, you know what I'm saying? Moving and shaking. Taking y'all's money. So your emperor showed up this week on his wife's show, showing that he was okay. Emperor Barack. Let's take a look at today's show. Is the sound up?
Yet direct discussion.
It's my husband, y'all.
She took me back.
It's my husband.
Barack and Michelle Obama addressing divorce rumors swirling around the former first couple for months.
Look at him.
There hasn't been one moment in our marriage where I thought about quitting my man.
Okay, don't make me cry now.
Sitting down on the latest episode of the former First Lady's IMO podcast, which she co-hosts with her brother.
It's so nice to have you both in the same room together.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me, and I'm all like, what are you talking about?
Divorce headlines first began bubbling around the time Mrs. Obama was MIA for high-profile events, like former President Jimmy Carter's funeral and President Donald Trump's second inauguration. She later slammed public speculation about her marriage.
They couldn't even fathom that I was making a choice for myself, that they had to assume that my husband and I are divorcing.
In their 32 years of marriage, the Obamas have been open about past challenges.
There were 10 years when I couldn't stand my husband. And guess when it happened? When those kids were little.
Earlier this year, the former president said he was working on his own work-life balance.
I was in a deep deficit with my wife, so I have been trying to dig myself out of that hole by doing occasionally fun things.
But the pair has also proudly and publicly shown their love, including during then-President Obama's farewell address.
For the past 25 years, you have not only been my wife and mother of my children, you have been my best friend.
In recent social media posts, the Obamas sharing private moments and this loving Father's Day message. Mrs. Obama writing her husband has always been there for us, no matter what, even when it felt like the weight of the world was on his shoulders.
And during the podcast, the Obamas also opened up about parenting. So much of their discussion focused on the challenges young men are facing. And the former president revealed he thinks it would have been more difficult to raise boys because he says he may have been too hard on them. The couple, of course, have the two daughters, Sasha and Malia, and Michelle, of course, had to get a dig in saying, if we'd had a boy, you know, I'm glad we didn't because he would have been another Barack.
They like to rib each other a little.
I'm a banter too, okay? You know what I'm saying? I like to banter. You got banter energy. I ain't talking about Barack and Michelle, but when people got that banter energy together, when you find somebody where you can banter with them, I gotta say, that shit gonna last. And Michelle know how to talk his shit. This is a marriage about more than, this is where commitment gets real for people, okay? Because this is a marriage about, this is what I'm saying. Michelle know where she trying to fuck to go, and Barack know where he trying to fuck to go, okay? And they both come together and bring that shit together. So when the days they don't like each other, okay? First of all, it's a political marriage. You think they didn't know that when they got married? You think they didn't understand it's a marriage of politics? Yes, they understood it. It is a marriage of politics, okay? She knew where he was going. Trust me, she knew where Barack was going when he was running for state senator. Have anybody ever met Barack Obama out here? Yes, some of y'all may have it. I've met Barack Obama twice. Let me tell you something, okay, about this. Beside Bill Clinton, this is the smoothest mofo that ever. We used to joke when we was campaigning for Barack back in the day. We used to joke, we out in these corners for Barack, because Barack had that pimp energy. And what I mean by pimp energy is Man, you could be the only Barack make you feel like you the only fucking person in the room, charming as hell. Okay, like, oh my god, like, man, the first time Barack wasn't nobody. This was back in the day. He had just got Secret Service detail on his thing. He was coming to Kansas City. We was opening up the first Missouri office for him. I was one of the people that opened up one of the first Missouri. I was volunteering for Barack very early on. He was an unknown senator. He had just got Secret Service because people was talking shit, threatening him and stuff like that. We used to go knock on people's door and say, "Do you want to vote for Barack?" They be saying, "Barack who?" They be, boy, black people used to really be against Barack Obama too. They was all Hillary Clinton out, okay? Now, he came. They blocked off the whole street. Barack was just supposed to drive by and wave at us because they were scared for him to get out. You know what he did? It was nothing but about 15, 20 of us on the street, probably less than that. He gets out the car, shakes everybody's hand. You can see the Secret Service like, oh my God. But he's shaking everybody's hand. How you doing? Oh, blah, blah, blah. I knew he was going to win then. I said, this motherfucker's about to win this election. And this was early on. I said, this is a smooth But here's the thing. I thought he was a plant, which I was right, from the Democratic Party at first. You know, my gut, I know my intuition. I got to always go with my intuition. Me and my uncle used to laugh when he first did that speech at the DNC. We said, who this they done got? These Democrats done got. They about to run him for president. You can see that coming. He about to be the next president. We used to joke about it. I laughed because I thought he was a pen. You know, he wasn't. I thought he was. I said he's a front for the Democratic Party for Nancy Pelosi. And I knew it early on, but listen. Here's what got me to not know it. I went to a thing. One of my friends said, "Please, come see him." Blah blah blah. Nobody knew him. He was speaking at this event. Hardly nobody there too. Maybe about 30 of us. Listen, he started using language like Malcolm used to use, bamboozled and all that stuff. And he put his book, he told us about, he was writing his memoirs and stuff like that. He wrote the book. I read the book and stuff a little bit after. I said, maybe he for real, because I couldn't believe it. And then when Michelle came to Kansas City, and we was in a small room with her too. Listen, she was so down to earth. I said, what the fuck maybe he's for real. And then when I saw Jeremiah Wright, I was like, maybe this is he might be the real deal, which I was wrong. He wasn't the real deal. He just knew how to play the game, okay? Listen, Barack's that smooth. Barack's so smooth, he had me fooled. I started saying, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna help this man become president. Man, the second meeting with Barack, let me tell you how smooth Barack was. Now, I'm excited because I'm like, shit, I got to get up because, I worked my ass off all day at this campaign we had to set this shit up with our staff and with people and everything. We was working our ass. Okay, and then finally he was coming. I was like, okay. And my person that's over, my boss was over me, said, make sure you get up, so you can say hi to Barack or whatever. Man, so I'm at this thing where, some of the workers are in front of the sign, okay? This little girl, and I'm a sucker for the babies, right? Little girl come up in line, they push her up to the front, and I said, damn, shit, I'm not gonna get, he gonna shake the baby's hand. I ain't gonna get to say hi to him. That's all right, I'm cool. This one he had got super popular, and you knew he was about to win that shit, right? Right? So Barack comes down the aisle. He's shaking everybody's hand, he's shaking it quickly and stuff like that. He cool, he cool. Here's Barack Obama. He sees that little baby there, right? Down kind of in front of me. Barack Obama, so damn smooth. Let me talk about how smooth this man is, okay? Grabbed my hand, held my hand, bent down to the little girl, grabbed her hand. Hey, how you doing? Talking to her. Listen, while holding my hand all at the same time. Then he gets like, hey, how you been? How are you doing? Baba, good to see. Listen. That's smooth. That's smooth. He made you feel like he was the only fucking person in the room. I knew he wasn't no joke. And I know Michelle knew he wasn't no joke when she met him, okay? Even though she was his boss. Michelle knew and understood where this mofo was going, okay? And when you get in them type of relationships, it ain't easily to break up. It ain't no easy commitment shit. You ain't easily coming in when you or when you meet some. I'm trying to tell y'all about how to maintain commitment If these two break up, even with the rumors that Barack is a little, you know what I'm saying. These two ain't breaking up. Not literally in your face, okay? They might be breaking up. They might do the Hillary, anyway. They not gonna do, these political marriages don't break up because they're committed for other reasons than just love. Love is important. But love eventually, you know, the little sprinkles go away. They dare you, but these people are committed to the political atmosphere. They're committed to many things. It's gonna be hard when you got the family business, okay? I'm just trying to tell y'all. You gotta have more than love. More than love. When you find a man like Barack Obama, now I'm not saying just get any, some of these political marriages, they be staying together. They should break up. You that motherfucker's this. He ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But some of these people stay together in spite of that. It's just like when y'all talk about Donald Trump and Melania. Melania's like, she understand. Melania, you know what Melania did? You know what Melania was doing before Donald Trump? She ain't leaving no Donald. That's a come up. Shit. She done went from, what was she playing? Was she doing, what was it? Was it like Penthouse Picture? I don't know. She's a beautiful lady. She done went from to becoming first lady of the United States twice. What you think? She ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't moving. Because she committed to something else now. Okay? If she move, it'll be long. I'll be shocked. Most political couples don't move because they are committed. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama knew back when he was running for state senator back in the day. They knew what they already had the game plan. If you think he didn't think he was going to be president, you crazy. I'm going to tell you why. When I was reading Barack Obama's first book, I'm going to tell you the truth. I closed the book up because I knew these type of men. And it's for some reason in my life, I don't know why, but black men who like white women always seem like me. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how. It's a crazy thing. And it's funny because I'm militant. I don't understand why they be right, but it's always true. So when I closed the book, so I've dated those types before, the Barack Obama types. So when I closed the Barack Obama book, the first thing I said is, how did he end up with Michelle Obama? Because Michelle Obama is so fucking down to earth, it is no joke. I'm serious. She's good at it. She's good at playing it. But I keep in mind that Michelle is a politician. I do not take her seriously. But I do understand that she can play that part. She is down. She can get in the room and flow with anybody. Like you could be the poorest of the poor. She got that energy. She know how to talk to you. Everything. Okay, so. I already knew. My question was, how did he get with a woman like this? Because this is clearly a man who likes white women, or could be a little bit, you know what I'm saying. Y'all know the rumors. Shit, I ain't gonna tell you. You know what happened? Barack understood Barack knew y'all wasn't gonna vote for him yet. The first black president wasn't gonna get voted in there with no white wife. He understood this. Okay. And when he met Michelle Obama, this is just my personal opinion. Just my personal opinion. That's all. My personal opinion. He met Michelle Obama. He knew he had to connect with an American black woman who was a descendant of slavery. He knew it politically. Y'all got to understand how these marriages go. And she understood the game the fuck too. Okay. You don't think they understood that game, them two, you don't understand how people become presidents. Presidents know very early on what they're going to do. A lot of these people know in high school they're going to be president. That's a long game. It's like, it's like when it's like the little, the little kids that be doing the gymnastics, they start when they little bitty. Politics start the same way. They know very young. It's almost a hand that moves them. I don't know. But listen here, Barack did everything just right. And not only did Barack actually did more than old dumb Kamala. Kamala was just up there and ski-weeing that went easily through to Howard, which anybody could do. Rachel Dolezal went to Howard. And I trust Rachel more than I do Kamala. But Barack actually did the real shit. Barack went down there in Chicago, in the hood, and became a community leader. He went down there to know all you black people, black American people, to know how y'all roll, how y'all talk. Then he had the nerve enough to go to Jeremiah Wright's church, who was militant as hell. Y'all know anything about Jeremiah Wright? Okay, he was doing all the stuff to get that black vote. He understood that he had to be embraced by black people. And he had to have a black family that was connected, because Barack is not connected to slavery. Michelle and her daughters are, though. Because if he would have just come up there with a white wife, and he had that Kenyan daddy and that white woman, y'all would have never fell for it. Y'all be like, he ain't even black. He was raised in Indonesia. Y'all was doing that anyway. But Michelle brought it home. Michelle was the seller. Okay? Listen, because once you heard Michelle's a better speaker than Barack. These two have a marriage that will not, if they end their marriage, even though I think it's been over. And you know what? Barack don't deny it. It's only Michelle up there faking. Barack came in to that interview. He came in that interview saying, he was like, I've been on thin ice. It's been a little such and such. Barack has never denied that there were some issues. Now, I believe there's some issues, but I believe they committed to the cause. Okay? These type of people, these marriages that willpower, it's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Y'all like Jay-Z and Beyonce. Y'all be talking about, Beyonce's innocent. And I said, no, that motherfucker ain't innocent. She's rolling in the ship too. Whatever, she already done told y'all. They couldn't catch you. She be singing all them songs. They never will. She said she a bodyguard. But I wish y'all come up here on Jay-Z, okay? We done wielded this power together, whatever it be, dirty or not. I'm a ride or die. She's a Scorpio moon. I'm a ride or die chick. Okay, what? What you want? She in it with him. Y'all talk about Beyonce's innocent. Beyonce's not like that. Shit. Beyonce ain't innocent. Beyonce understand what that marriage is. Beyonce understand that she done invested for Jay-Z to be this ish. Hey? Oh, no, we don't play. She done invested for Jay-Z to come up. Hey, that's why I say that song. I call her the philosopher with the song. Remember what's that? We gonna be rocking. She said that other women, you ain't gonna come up in here rocking chinchilla coats and everything. If I let you go in the house out the coast, I let you go take everything I own. I'm not letting this fool go. I done invested. I'd be damned if I see another chick on your arm. Beyonce, it's gonna be hard. Only way Beyonce lets him go is if he gets so deep in, it look, and it's looking like it's fucking up for Jay-Z right about now, okay? She gonna try to escape. She might try to pull an escape hatch. But other than that, she committed to this cause, okay? And a Scorpio moon, I doubt she might be loyal to the end. She might go down with the ship. These are the marriages of power. They're not easily broken in commitment, okay? They're not. Even if they don't like each other, even if they got other people on the side, they're not easily broken. Look at Jay-Z, look at Jada and Will hanging on for dear life. He hanging on. Some people saying Will is thinking about it now, but shit, look, Jada just didn't disappear. They don't look like they making no moves. I thought they might have been making a move towards divorce, but it don't look like it. Not a baby. But it took them how long to do it? It took them a long time. Because why? They committed. Will and Jada understand what they are to each other. You might not understand August Alsina. You might not understand the girl Will was running around with in Egypt allegedly. Or the white woman that was his side girl, that was his co-star allegedly. You might not understand all that, but Jada do. And we'll understand all that with Jada. Okay? Because these are power couples. Okay? They are harder to break up than the average couple. Because they got assets, business deals, y'all food, thinking they couple goals, all kind of stuff. It ain't easy to end that shit. Okay? Because they got to break up a brand. It is what it is. Not surprised. Also, Barack said another controversial thing on this, and I don't have the video for it, but he talked about every young man should have a gay man in his life. When you raising a young man, you should also have a gay man. A lot of y'all got upset. I think that you don't have to have specifically gay people. He should just have a diverse group of people. When I was growing up, my grandma had a diverse group of friends because she was a musician. She sang. So I knew gay men, I knew straight men, I knew gay women, and this was in gospel. Straight women, all that stuff. And it wasn't because they did it on purpose. It was just because they had a diverse group of friends they had. Diverse people all around. You ain't got to specifically point out no gay person. I think that's kind of a little strange. You know, Barack, people call him the gay president. I don't know why. It's just my heard. That's what I heard out in these streets. Listen, I just disagree with that. I just think that if you set out the intention to have your person, your children around diversity anyway, they're going to know different types of people. Okay? That's just how it is. And my granny was flamboyant, so gay men used to just love my grandma. So we had all her best male friends were gay musicians in the church. So it just happened to be with the lifestyle they were living. Same thing, I think, how you not gonna know different people if Michelle and Barack are your parents? You know, proof of that too is a little bit like, I always look at them kids. I be laughing because I said, boy, it's funny how a lot of these wealthy people, a lot of the things that they failed to do, and this is just my personal opinion, I could be completely 100% wrong on this, but a lot of times if you look at a lot of these wealthy people who are black and claim to be so close to blackness and stuff, look at their family trees, okay? You know, sometimes they don't have a diverse group of people as far as their own race. Like, look at them Obama kids. Maybe it's changed since they got older. But you know, being from Chicago and shit, you think they have some black, because it ain't that many black people at the top like that. So, I mean, I was like, they ain't in the Jack and Jill program or nothing. No. Them kids was around a lot of white kids at first. And it'd be like that with celebrity kids and everything. And I'm like, y'all don't know nothing about Jack and Jill? Can't y'all get those little black friends? And they end up sometimes marrying white women, all kinds of white men. I'm just trying to tell you, okay? Barack talking about diversity with gay men. How about black people? Every black child should have some black people they know. Somebody from their culture. I'm gonna stop. That's important too. And I say this to a lot of y'all out there, because what happens is they get so successful, and you know, when the higher you go up, the less you see of black people. But back in the day, remember back in the 60s and the 70s and 80s, that when you had the cousins that done went up and, you know, they living somewhere else nice and stuff like that, they bring the cousins back to the hood cousins, and the suburban cousins always knew each other. And that's how the suburban cousins stayed hip, because the hood cousins was keeping them hip. It used to be that. But now you got people going further and further separate. Like, you know, like I had to tell one of my relatives, they kids was acting like white people. I said, why is your kids rapping? Like they was rapping like crazy raps and stuff. They was on the TikTok rapping, man. Yo, nigga, I mean, like little white kids. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Because they had no relationship with black kids. And I remember my relative said, I'm concerned about this because they don't know. And the black kids seem a little rough. I said, that didn't stop you. You was little. And they said, you right. I said, you had to learn to be rough. You had to learn. That's where you get your toughness from, them little hood kids. And they took them to a little program where was some kids, little black kids, you know, from the hood and stuff like that. And they learned a lot. They stopped doing a lot of that dumb stuff they was doing. They was on there acting like little white kids. They was acting just like little white, I mean, in terms of not white kids. This is no offense to white people out there. But if you ever seen Fences, Good Fences, that's how they was acting. Have you ever, the movie Good Fences? Because sometimes what happens, white people don't understand that you carry, because you are the dominant culture in America and around the world sometimes, you carry a hidden racism that you don't understand. Because you're so used to being dominant, you don't understand when you're being racist. And kids who are around you pick up that energy. Even your little kids. And especially when they ain't got nobody around them telling them they beautiful, their hair is beautiful, and all this stuff, you know. So my thing about Barack is, it's not just, you know, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on, you know, just not having a gay person, diverse person in every young man's life. How about having black people in black kids' life? Because I did notice them kids was hanging around white people all the time. Now they say little, what's her name? Now little Sasha look like she a little wild one, okay? They said little Sasha the diverted. She been dating, was she dating a rapper or something? She was dating something wild. Something she was doing recently. I believe that. She went out the beaten path. You always got one that's gonna go out there like they gonna go off the beaten path. But let's talk about black children hanging with, how important it is for black children to know other black children, even if they wealthy. Let's talk about that first, Barack. Moving on. Oh, I'm not gonna have any friends, am I? Gosh, it's not good. This week, did Barack call the Democrats a bunch of wimps? What did he say? He told y'all to toughen up. Now they get mad at Barack out these streets. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all gonna hang on to anybody in that party with some sense, it's Barack Obama. Y'all can't believe some of y'all defending Barack, defending y'all emperor, because I call him y'all emperor, because y'all wanted him to stay in the White House forever. Y'all defending Kamala Harris over y'all emperor. Y'all must not notice that Kamala's a box of rocks, but I'll let y'all keep going the way y'all going. Oh my God, what is going on here? Democrats are trying to pick their next president. They're already running around here trying to find, I just don't even want to talk about it because it's so depressing to watch them. They might be done for about a couple of terms. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them. That's where the Democrats is at. Know when to, they still out here trying to be and do Lulu. Know when to, you know, they just got bad ideas right now. This is from MSN. The first presidential primary votes won't be cast for another 2.5 years. And yet, over the span of 10 days in July, 3 Democratic presidential prospects are scheduled to campaign in South Carolina. Nearly half a dozen others have made recent pilgrimages to South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Iowa, states that traditionally host the nation's opening presidential nomination contest. Still, other ambitious Democrats are having private conversations with officials on the ground there. The voters there are used to seeing presidential contenders months or even years before most of the country. But the political jockeying in 2025 for the 2028 presidential contest appears to be playing out earlier with more frequency and with less pretense than ever before. Okay. They got Clyburn. What's that? It said California Governor Newsom, I guess, is out here. Clyburn. You see Wes Moore. Okay, Wes Moore is who they're going to try to come for the next guy. Okay, let me tell you why Wes Moore. Wes Moore, again, not a Black American. I want Black America to get this, and you're going to have to get it. You're going to be slow if you don't. It's really getting terrible because the other day I saw a person had a whole thing out about how they plan to funnel money from Black America to Nigeria. It's because globalism is kicked in. And globalism wants to use your money to help unite Africa, the continent of Africa. Of course, it wouldn't be Black people, there'd be Black front men, but it would really be white supremacists in control, okay? Because Africa is just, if you know anything about them different countries over there, a lot of it is jacked up. Okay? I mean, that's why they running over here. It's a lot of jacked up stuff going on in Africa and Nigeria. Okay? So listen, and a lot of people, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're trying to do a destiny swap, but y'all better pay attention. Now, as far as Wes Moore his background is, he's a Jamaican American. Okay? Wes Moore is the one who just recently said he was against reparations. They're going to try to play Wes up as the next Democratic nominee because they've thrown away the Black American Party. Let me tell you why they've thrown away Black Americans. Black Americans are tough. You make it hard. And besides that, they use your culture to feed in globalism. So they made you the face of Blackness all over the world in the 60s and the 70s, and what's cool and what's this and music and this and that, this, that. You was the face, okay? So meanwhile, you get immigrants coming into America, Black immigrants too, and they feed them into we're not gatekeeping as Black people, that we have our own culture, like many of them gatekeep their culture. They do, they do, okay? So you're not gatekeeping and you just let people come flowing in and everything like that, changing your energy, changing your thing. And that's how the elites want it because they want one big consumer group. And they use you as a culture that they would get the rest. So now it's important in order to get the rest is to erase you. Make your form of Blackness. You ain't got no culture. It's dangerous for you to have a culture because all over the world, everybody has attached on to you. You were in the superpower. The superpower has Hollywood in it. The superpower in Hollywood, there is music. We the American thing. We have been the thing that's been truly American, right? So they fed us out to all the world, including other Black countries. Africans and stuff will tell you a lot of their style and stuff come from us. They know this. I ain't gonna listen. Weave was and all that stuff was created. A lot of Black Americans created a lot of things. And they're not that immigrants hasn't participated in certain things, but most things they got from Black Americans because you're in like hip hop. Hip hop is a Black American thing. They were rapping in the 1930s, in the 1920s. Black Americans. But if you were a Jamaican, like, was it Coolhurst or something, that came in, you was hanging around nothing but Black people. Black Americans was still the dominant culture, and whatever you saw, you got from them, probably. And it fed you to do that little break. But all the music and stuff from the back of hip-hop is R&B, which is mostly Black American. We got to stop the foolishness. Okay, but Black Americans are not allowed to have a culture now. Now you got Black American. What you're gonna see, I'm gonna tell you right now, what you're getting ready to see is you being erased. It's not gonna be, they're not gonna want you to run. And if they run you as a president or something, you're gonna be the diaspora president. Like Barack was. He was an immigrant too. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all. And this ain't nothing to hate on immigrants. This ain't to hate on our black brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. It's just that we ain't y'all and y'all ain't us. And that's all right. And it's a beautiful thing that y'all loved our culture so much that y'all feel like it's a part of you. We ain't mad at that. We ain't got no qualms about that. The thing is to recognize where it's from and who it is and everything, okay? Don't try to be sitting here acting like, because when I don't say nothing to you, when you want to throw up your little Jamaican flag or your little Haiti flag or your little this and that, ain't nobody saying nothing. Okay? So let us throw up our American flag and let us own this shit. Okay? Now these type of people are getting ready to come. Westmore has already said his stance on illegal reparations. You do not need to vote for him for president. Okay? Move on. Okay, just because he's black, just because they black don't mean nothing. Just because they black American don't mean nothing. And I'll tell you this, I saw a prominent black American trying to defend Essence the other day. I said that was going to happen. What they're going to do is start bringing out the politicians, like the Jasmine Crockett's and all those people that y'all trust. And they're going to start telling you, we're one in the diaspora, we're one. But you don't understand, they're no longer yours. When is the last time you see the black caucus out here fighting for a black American problem? No. They at the Latino rally because probably what's their name, Lord Raza, somebody done gave them a check. They at the you ain't got no checks to give. They at the globalism. They for the globalists because they get checks from the globalists. Y'all don't understand that? They no longer serve you. The black caucus is gone. I just tell black people that all the time. The black caucus is pretty much done for. Probably because you become done for. You so frustrated you don't even pay no attention to them no more. They are no longer serving you and your purposes. They serve everybody else but you. You can't look at them and trust them either. I like the way Jasmine sounds. Jasmine Crockett is 2.0 of Maxine Waters. Okay, you got to know what these people are trying to do. Isn't it obvious to y'all when they rerun somebody? She the only sassy one in the thing. She talking just right, our language and everything like that. Most of the time she sound like an idiot, but I digress. But she talking your language and make you feel good. So you be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's right. I know that's right, Jasmine. She rolling her eyes. I'm like, you an idiot. This is politics. Can you look like you Maxine, her first year, few years? No, I'm gonna tell you this. They trying to play little Maxines with no political backbone, like Jasmine. But Maxine was a politician her first few years before to me, the Congress just, after a certain round of Congress, you get corrupted, in my opinion, okay? But Maxine was a politician her early years. This fool ain't no politician. Y'all, they running the same playbooks, and these are elites putting money behind these people to talk to you. And notice they don't put black people first. They put the Democrats first. If black people don't start recognizing this stuff, we gonna be in trouble. We gotta see these people for what they are. I'm telling you. Not good. Okay? Gotta see it. Okay? And start understanding the political landfill and what they're trying to do out here. All right? And it's so many people who are having really great articles and stuff like that who can tell you about some of this stuff. They're trying to fund Africa. And listen, they want us to pull money into Africa without our knowledge. Here's the situation. Africa, at this point, you can go point out, you just put your finger on the map and see the troublesome things that happen in Africa. And it's 204, they got more money than, even though they say we the number one group with money because we live in the superpower, Listen, it's 246 million of them motherfuckers. You can't, listen, you can't be coming to me asking me for something and you letting the white men, about 10 of them white men over there run you. I can't, what am I supposed to, 10 Chinese run you? What you asking me for, man? What you gonna do with my money? Is you asking me or is the Chinese? Is you asking me or are the Indians? Is you asking me or are the corrupt leaders? Are you asking me, and then wait a minute, hold on. Why you asking us to come and fix your shit? Wasn't you the ones that participated in this slave trade and traded us off? Like we was a bad fucking, not traded us off, but traded our ancestors off like they was a bad fucking check and they ended up being the cream of the crop. Should we come help you now? Not so sure. It's not being arrogant, it's wisdom. Where was y'all at in the 50s and 60s when Malcolm went over there trying to ask people to go, can you go put some charges up against the United Nations? Malcolm was over there talking to his damn self. Did they ever care? We over it. Black people in America getting sicked on by dogs. Sprayed down with hoses. On TV, I don't want them niggers going to school with me. All this stuff. Where was Africa? Where was y'all at? Where was you at? Okay. What we supposed to do for y'all now? What we supposed to do? Huh? What you want? It's a lot of y'all over there. It's only 50 million of us over here battling the white folks. What y'all want from us? Because frankly, we've been in America damn near 500 to 600 years. What the hell do you want from us? We ain't even, we probably more kin to these white Europeans over here, right, that we have, because they've been slave. You know what they was doing in slavery, breeding them. Then we are y'all. What is y'all want? We tried to connect. We tried to do the Pan-African shit, and it was rejection after rejection, calling us cicadas, calling us the lost people. And now you want us to bring some tourism bucks and shit over there and build shit. No. Got too much shit. We got stuff going on right here in America. And we probably better off trying to do this thing. We try to come up. We see it's damn near, it's a whole bunch of y'all and y'all can't stop them. What we gonna do? If it's 300 million of y'all and y'all, man, I remember that story. What's that story? I remember seeing on TV. What's his name? What's the story about the African warrior which tried to stop the Europeans from colonizing, and he was kicking their ass. But he didn't go one more round with him. If he would have went one more round with him, he would have, probably conquered him, but he didn't. And they ended up being a colonization or whatever. I forget what it was, the story of the name of. I saw. But listen here, ain't nothing we can do. This is a long-standing problem with Africa. Africa has to heal and repent. It's for its own sins. We're repenting over here for our sins. We cannot repent. We can't come over. It's nothing we can do. We can't do nothing. We tried, okay, back in the day. And then we even tried in 1965 where we said, hey, we want people from the diaspora to come over here. But apparently people from the diaspora, not all people from the diaspora, but a lot of y'all don't like us. So what is we supposed to do at this point? We got enough problems fighting these white supremacists. What y'all want us to do? Yeah, y'all want us to come fight the Chinese supremacists, the Indian supremacists. We ain't got time. We got enough we doing over here. Y'all got to stand on your own 2 feet. As Tariq Nasheed says, hold your own nuts. We can't do it. We got enough issues going on right now. They ain't even offering us no citizenship. Ain't offering us no money. Ain't offering us nothing. Just please, we gonna fight for y'all money over here from the African Union, and we gonna make y'all the 6th region of Africa. What the fuck? 6th region of what? We ain't in no Africa. We in America. What you trying to make? See, y'all got to look at that African Union stuff about them trying to have access to Black Americans, $1.7 trillion that people have been finding out. And not only was they trying to do this to Black America, that's where they were starting. They was trying to do this all over the diaspora. I know people in Haiti like, what the fuck? We done fought for this to be the first Black Republican. Where you coming from? Talking about you showing your ass up. Talking about you trying to siphon, get some of our money. We got enough problems in Haiti. You know, Africa should be so strong that it should be helping us. It should be helping the diaspora instead of begging us in the diaspora for coins. As a matter of fact, even they getting mad at each other over there because Nigeria and Ghana, like Ghanaians are getting mad at Nigerians for coming over to their country. It's a lot. See, globalism is out here. These white elites that's running globalist fractions trying to erase stuff is doing the most. And they getting people upset. Yes, we have to respect each other's differences in cultures. But you also got to respect the fact, Africa, you especially got to respect the fact of this. You gave away, you put on them slave ships some of your brightest and your best, and you sent them all over the diaspora. And now here you are, trying to ask us to come save your ass. No, absolutely not. You're supposed to be saving us. Matter of fact, where's our reparations? You owe us some money too. Where's the reparation? Where's our reparations? That's how I feel about it, okay? I'm sorry. And I love all my people all over the world. But the nerve of asking us to they didn't even ask, trying to stifle, trying to put Africans over Black American media and cosplay Black Americans and try to siphon money back over to Africa. The nerve. Through entertainment, because they know entertainment is our thing. So they use stuff like the Essence Fest and all this stuff. It's wild. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, and so this is a lot of people have been finding out so many things this week about them. I'm trying to find about what's been going on, and you guys can look at it. It's a lot of people have done reports about it on YouTube and everything. And it's funny, but I'm trying to find this thing that Paul Mooney said that I think was very funny about Africans, and if I can find it for y'all, about Africans coming back to America after so long with Black Americans. I'm trying to find it for y'all. It's pretty funny. I'm looking at it for it now. Let me see if this is it. Okay. This is it. And it's not, this is funny, so don't take it personally. He says about, it's not politically correct. If y'all know what Paul Mooney was, he was never a politically correct comedian, but probably my favorite comedian. I met Paul Mooney a couple of times, and one time I met Paul Mooney, this is the funniest story. Okay, so it was a white guy outside. The first time I met Paul Mooney, and we talking. I'm like, you my favorite, and my friend is saying, oh, she loves you. She got this thing or whatever. And he was laughing. He was like, what? And he was just talking to us, and then he kept looking over at this white guy who was selling his videos and stuff. He said, let's scoot over a little closer. You got to watch them because, they still right in front of you. Paul Mooney was crazy, okay? He was cool, but cool every time, okay? I met him. But I'm going to let y'all listen to this clip from him. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. Let me see. Hopefully y'all can see it.
And Africans, I hate. No, I'm serious. I don't like Africans because they have an attitude. Africans act like they mad at us. Why do they have attitude? Look down. What is the attitude for? They got the shit twisted. No, we're mad at you. We waited and nobody came for us. Any other race would have declared war on America and asked for their people back. Africans wrote us off like a bad check. And then they're going to show up 500 years later with a briefcase full of watches. I don't need no goddamn watch. I know what time it is. They got this shit twisted. We're supposed to go to Africa and find the village we come from. We were stolen. Come to the ghetto and find my black ass.
I totally agree. I didn't always agree, but I totally agree. Paul Mooney is so right. What are we? What? What? Are you serious? It's so sad because people don't understand Black Americans are even having a hard time delineating because we've so long worshipped Africa and other Black countries and stuff like that. And we haven't seen the greatness within ourselves. We didn't know everybody was looking at us. We was a little Truman Show over here. We in these ghettos and everything growing up and shit. We didn't know we didn't know the world was watching us be hip and watching us sing and watching us do all this shit. That we didn't know. That stuff coming out the hoods, urban areas, out of out of the countries and the country roads, off the country roads of Mississippi and Alabama and all this stuff. We didn't know y'all was looking at us. We didn't know. So we the little Truman Show and don't know it that all the diaspora is watching us. And pretty soon we didn't know we're over here like, wow. When we realize the greatness of us and what we created, we are really the only truly American invention. Because remember, when Americans come over when you have people who come over from Europe and different parts, Germany and stuff, they're bringing culture. They're bringing their various culture and stuff like that, different from the Africans who were stolen off their land from various places. They like to say most of them are from West Africa. The true numbers are really not known, okay? But we come over here and we are cut off from language. We can't even learn to read and write in America. Our ancestors couldn't even learn to read and write. So the Africans have traded them on a slave ship for some salt and pepper and shit like that, and some seasoning. You know what they did, weird cloths and shit like that. You read about it, okay? And we over here cut off from our language. Some of them would never see their family members again, never see people. And not only the Black Americans in this, the Africans who get traded into the Americas are under a different type of slavery. It's a chattel slavery. It is one where race is introduced. Now, we can't even already talk about Black people that were already probably here. There's evidence of that, right? But we can talk about the chattel slavery, what happens, okay? They come here, don't know nothing, can't read or write, got to learn the language, got to figure what these white people talking to them, got to figure it out, got to... And then to be treated like you're less than, to be called less than a human, to be watch your women raped. They can come in and do whatever they want to. They can breed your women. They can have you breed them. They can rape you. They can do all kinds of crazy stuff. What you want? Black people were cut off from everything, and they had to start all over again. So we're the thing that's truly American. When they dumped them slops out to the black people said, you know what, we gonna make soul food, okay? I heard somebody the other day try to sell out fried chicken that's West African. I said, y'all better shut up. Y'all know no fried chicken with no West Africans. Bullshit, right? But because our people had to survive, our people start making soul food is really American. It's the only American thing. We created that. The music. That ain't that's us creating music. We created that to survive. We sing it to ourselves in the field, singing to God, singing to everything. Just, Lord, help us out. Get us out of here. We singing freedom songs and everything. That term will eventually to go from the black spiritual to country to blues to jazz to rhythm and blues to rock and roll. That's all American, created by Black Americans. We was creating the true culture in America. Oh, y'all don't know who we are. Of course they was the hardest on us. Because what we was doing and where we was at. Then they go through another, after slavery ends, they go through another 100 years of failed Reconstruction, first few years after failed Reconstruction, trying to send them back to Liberia, which not many went. Then trying to go through 100 years of Jim Crow, segregation, robbing. They still the Klan coming down there, running people in the South off their property and all this stuff. Another 100 years. And we still got the nerve enough to survive, make music, make everything that's the American culture. And you think we gonna let other groups and other people come over here and erase us? Nah, we ain't doing it. Nah, no, it's not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Not gonna happen. And no other group should want us to be erased. You should be like, damn, nah, they went too, hey, they the bomb. We ain't, I don't do that with, listen, what did I look like talking about I want Haiti to be erased? Haiti is one of my favorite. Listen, Haitians was the bomb back in the day. I don't know where Toussaint, the spirit of Toussaint done went recently. But I know the spirit of Toussaint Louverture and them generals and stuff over there in Haiti, how they wielded the first Black Republic. That's dope as hell. You think I would rob them of that? Even though the shit's shaky now. They didn't let the, you know what I'm saying. I guess Toussaint died with the war. The spirit of Toussaint just, you know what I'm saying. I don't know what y'all doing up here. But I digress. Listen, you think I'd try to be, you think that don't even make no sense. You think I'd knock the Jamaicans' way of life, how Jamaicans live, and all the wonderful things, their political atmosphere. They had to go through things that, even with something great like Bob Marley, even though Bob Marley even admits saying, hey, Black American music inspired reggae. And reggae obviously is inspired Afro beats, because reggae ain't nothing but, I always say reggae ain't nothing but Afro beats ain't nothing but reggae, but a little bit slowed down. It is. Even one of my Jamaican friends was telling me, you got that shit right. I thought somebody wasn't going to notice it. I said, that shit ain't nothing but Jamaican reggae. No offense, Africans. Y'all wasn't singing like that. Y'all wasn't singing this. We not going to go there. We not going to do this, okay? You're not coming over here and thinking we need to be restored back to Africa. That's the first thing. Okay? I mean, in terms of like, we need to be restored mentally back. We didn't give us away. So what are you talking about? I'm with Paul Mooney on that. So yes, we definitely got to see the real deal on that. We definitely got to be delineating, because in globalization, it is out to erase Black American culture, and we cannot let them do that. And I told you, these celebrities and everything are gonna make that double hard for y'all to not do that. They gonna work their ass. These celebrities you gotta check the celebrity crew, because the celebrity crew, they need checks right now. You know, they need these checks, so they're gonna be willing to do. They might do anything. It's gonna be a few. You know, it's always a few celebrities that stand 10 toes down. But for the most part, when Essence start offering them big checks, and the globalists start saying, you know what, we'll give you a check. We're all one in the diaspora. They'll all start talking shit. Beyonce, even with her American coat, will walk up there on the Essence stage next year. They give her enough money. I'm just trying to tell y'all, and y'all got to be able to stand 10 toes down against Beyonce if y'all want to y'all want to check Essence and Rich Leigh Dennis and all the rest of them, and Caroline Wanger. If you want to check them and let them know you mean business, you probably gonna have to protest Beyonce. You ain't gonna want it. You can't say I want to dress up in that hat. Y'all like Carlotta, you gotta protest Maxwell. I'm protesting his ass. He ain't gonna show up probably, no way. He probably, shit. Maxwell seems like he be keeping his ear to the ground like, shit, I'm gonna get I ain't gonna be in none of that shit if it's still going. It look like you can't get Maxwell in no trouble. Maxwell like, I'm running the other way. They probably have to offer him a big old check, okay? I'm just telling y'all, they gonna try to put every celebrity they can up there, okay? I'm trying to tell y'all next year, just get ready. Get ready. Essence gonna be brand new. They gonna be having the dancers, line dancers with them flags. They had that this year, but it's gonna be real up there. You ain't gonna see you gonna see all Black American. When you walk in, Black American faces all across the convention center. You ain't gonna see them African flags no more. They gonna disappear because they gonna try to fool y'all. And they know all they gotta do is get the right entertainers. As a matter of fact, I said they might go so far. I said, you know what would be evil? I was telling my friend, me and her was talking the other day. I said, you know what would be evil if they did? She said, what? I said, if they got Sade. She said, oh, that's cold. I said, oh. I'd be like, y'all playing with fire now. Even though she ain't ours, she's ours. Damn it, I know they ain't got no Sade right there. Sade, you better tour all around. We ain't come to Essence Fest because you there. They try to go get Sade. They will get us. They will try to get us. They know we love us some Sade. You gotta watch it. They gonna try to come with it. They'll try to go get Stevie's ass from Ghana to close up the show. Stevie over there talking about he living in Ghana. They'll try to get Stevie Wonder's ass over there. Yeah, I said, we're all the one. We're all one. You wish those days, and you'll be down there singing it there. Nope, you gotta check Stevie's ass too. They gonna try it. I'm telling y'all right now what's coming. I'm probably giving them the show. Tell y'all what's coming. Rich Leigh and them is coming hard next year. They coming hard. They gonna have the list out early. That's part of the problem too. They didn't have that list out early of the entertainers. They gonna have that list out early. They gonna have 21 ways that y'all can pay. 30 ways to pay, 30 Klarna payments to the hotel. You can get in. We got 15. We made a deal with Klarna, between Klarna and Carlotta and all the hotels in New Orleans. I bet there be all kind of tricks happening next year. Child, I'm telling you. You got 15 payments before you come to Essence. So I'm telling y'all, they know how to get y'all. They know how to get you. I'm scared we gonna fall for it. They can get some things that makes us fall. And if we ain't all out here telling y'all, don't do it. You can't do it. We gotta tell y'all, because y'all get your cowboy hats on when Beyonce be there. I ain't going to the Essence Fest. And the next thing you know, y'all be at the Thunder Fest. I don't know if y'all can do it. Oh, I don't know if the protest is the right way to go. I don't know if they can do it. Should we just sign over that African Union check now? Oh, how's that though? Oh, I got to talk about Jay-Z before I go. Jay-Z. It seems like it's coming down to Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Oh boy, it's not looking good out in these streets. At this point, for the young man who wants to get his, see if Jay-Z is daddy, these have been rumors around for years that Jay-Z is this young man's daddy. Okay, it hasn't been a lot of little boys out here saying Jay-Z. It's only two. It was a little picture of that little boy from the islands years ago that looked just like Jay-Z. And now it's Ramir. Ramir has been consistently around here saying he wasn't sure. He needed to know. Jay-Z, you ain't had a lot of people out here saying that you is they daddy. I mean, you talking about you had to give him allegations, you had to give everybody. I'm saying it's not you. I'm starting to look at you a little fishy. And Jay-Z knows this. I'm gonna really be honest. If Jay-Z gets found out, this boy get found out to being Jay-Z's son, Jay-Z is gonna look really bad in the public's eye. And people are gonna start believing every ugly, mean thing ever about him. Now, if I was this young man, I would be worried about this because Jay-Z has a lot of power and a lot of powerful people behind him. He can change a paternity test, my personal opinion, allegedly. You're going to have to watch. That's going to be having to be watched the most watched paternity sealed. When y'all do that DNA, y'all going to have to, it's almost like going to have to be guarded. Y'all have to make sure, the judge going to have to make sure ain't nobody being bribed. I ain't saying that's what the Jay-Z's planning on doing. I'm just saying he could do it because he's so powerful and he got so many connections. But he's fighting this shit like the Dickens. He's fighting it, which make me think you was connected to that woman. And you don't want to ruin, you could have settled with little old Ramir years ago. You could have said, let's quietly go and get this DNA before it got out, but you didn't. Jay-Z says paternity suit is full of fabricated allegations. Jay-Z dismisses Ramir Satterwhite's paternity suit lawsuit as fabricated, but Satterwhite firmly disagrees. Jay-Z has issued a formal response to Ramir's paternity lawsuit that the hip-hop mogul claims is full of fabricated allegations. Recently filed court documents reveal Jay-Z, real name Sean Kerr, request for a judge to intervene in Satterwhite's federal lawsuit against him. U.S. Weekly reports Hove calls the lawsuit just the latest in Satterwhite's and his caregiver's decade-long harassment of Jay-Z. Okay, the fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed and rejected in multiple other courts, and Satterwhite continues harassment of Jay-Z. And disregard of those orders has already resulted in contempt order. Plus Jay-Z's filing status. The father of three claims he only learns about Satterwhite's lawsuit on June 3rd and is asking for a judge more time to issue a formal response. Nigga, what you need to issue a formal response for? Ain't no fucking formal response. This kid been coming at you for the longest. It was seen to me, it ain't a lot of motherfuckers out here claiming you they kid. Now, it was one other. She quietly went away. Don't nobody know where she at. Let me say, what's word on the curb? Word on the curb is that the daughter, alleged daughter of Jay-Z, done been paid off. Allegedly. And she just recently got a nice little house. She looked like Jay-Z too. She used to be out here with Ramir trying to get her suit claimed too. What the fuck is wrong with you and Beyonce that you don't want to claim these other kids? Beyonce, you stupid. You don't let no man not claim. If you don't want to be with him after you find out he been having secret shit, he didn't have secret kids, he went and denied and stuff, then divorce his ass. But don't play no games trying to you don't do nothing but curse your family when you do that. You do nothing but curse your family when you deny other children. You just do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now, I understand you want to protect the estate. Now, shit, wait a minute, hold on. Let me take this back. Protect the motherfucking estate. You and Jay-Z got the right to protect. Jay-Z is married. Protect the estate with his married children. There is a way to do that and not let these other motherfuckers come in on it, okay? I get that. I ain't mad at that, okay? But what I'm saying to you is that these are kids. These are old-ass kids. You don't want this man to deny his children. You should be the main one. I'd be like, if you don't get your monkey ass out there and take that test, if you knew that woman, it's not been a lot of people coming to take. It's not been a lot of people coming at Jay-Z for a paternity. It's not been that I know of that's been consistently in the news for almost damn near years. Ramir has been here even longer than the daughter was, alleged daughter. What is it that you and Beyonce don't want the look that you don't want of him being his son? Like, what? What's going on? Like, is he something? Is he a criminal or something? He don't look like he no criminal. All the man want to do, he said he don't even want no money, which you should give him some. But he said he don't even want no money. He just want to know if the man is daddy or not. Like, why are you fighting this so hard? Like, this is somebody that's consistently been in the news, in the newspapers. It ain't been nobody else that has had the most activity around them about being your son than Ramir. You should just want to settle this shit. When Jay-Z's lawyer reached out to Satterwhite's caregiver to request more time, see, now he might be a little slow or something. I'm not sure because they saying caregiver and he's old. So maybe you scared to, I ain't going to say it. Nope, I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to say it. Y'all ain't going to get mad at me. Some people know why I'm saying Jay-Z will be irreparably prejudiced with additional time to evaluate and prepare his response to the complaint the filing states, okay? He's 32 years old and was given a runaround by the judicial system for over a decade trying to obtain a DNA test from the former drug dealer, Harriet Ease. I love her page. She be cracking me up. Jay-Z immediately cleared his name from allegations that he and Diddy she's hilarious. Okay, wait a minute. Let me read this because my thing is acting up. Okay, hold on, y'all. I got to pull it back up. This is funny if she's saying. This is on Twitter. One of the people who are funny. Okay, she said, let me put this here. I know the show is going a little long today, y'all, but it's all right. We're gonna get through it. It's a long show. I didn't mean for it to go this long. Hold on. Some of y'all can break it up. Y'all know how you used to do with break it up. Break it up and listen to it. Okay. Where is it at? Where's he at? Okay. Jay-Z immediately cleared his name from allegations that he and Diddy had a sexual allegation. A 13-year-old, let me see what she's saying on Twitter. This is interesting. Can I get her Twitter? Okay. This young lady is Harriet Eve 9. She said Jay-Z immediately cleared his name from allegations that he and Diddy had a sexual allegation, a 13-year special needs woman, while an unnamed female celebrity watched. But Jay-Z has avoided taking a paternity test over 10 years, according to his alleged son, to clear his name from allegations that he impregnated Ramir's underage mother. Why? Oh, that is why. There's another twist. I forgot about that part. Okay, she was allegedly underage at the time. And you know what the streets be saying. From Foxy Brown on up. Okay? Jay-Z don't want them problems no more. Jay-Z. It ain't good. It ain't good out here. But this judge is like, damn it, I'm tired. This judge is tired. This judge said, Jay-Z, you gonna get this test. You gonna do this test. If you don't do this test, man, you gonna do it. This judge done ordered him to take that test. You know he trying to stall for some reason because he trying to probably go up higher or something, get some people to stop it. It says he had a relationship to now deceased mother Wanda Satterwhite in the 1990s, and when he was 22. Wait a minute, and she was 16. He says he has filed multiple paternity suits against the Roc Nation founder that were all dismissed. Satterwhite remains under care of his godmother, who he says has faced unrelenting efforts by Jay-Z and enablers to suppress the truth and silence those who dare to speak. Jay-Z is so much falling down on you. I ain't even got today to Nicki Minaj and Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick's wife Nessa coming out on talking about Jay-Z, them dude, Rock Nation is up here doing some wild stuff. Uh-oh. You know, cause Nicki been saying all the time that Rock Nation been doing some crazy stuff with her. Now, Nessa Diab, okay, accuses Jay-Z, Rock Nation, and Desiree Perez of smear campaign tactics against Nicki Minaj and Colin Kaepernick. Nessa Diab, longtime media personality and partner of former NFL quarterback, well, she says she's married to him now, and civil rights icon Colin Kaepernick has come out swinging, alleging that Jay-Z, Rock Nation, and CEO Desiree Perez orchestrated what she calls a smear campaign tactics not only against her partner, but now against global rap superstar Nicki Minaj. Diab drew parallels between the treatment of Minaj and Kaepernick, accusing the powerful entertainment agency of strategically co-opting movements and silencing dissent, all while collecting millions from institutions seeking public redemption. Okay, now listen, Colin did get a check, a settlement, and all that. We got to talk about that. He did do that, but he still put his stuff on the line. Jay-Z kind of, to me, in my personal opinion, interrupted that protest. He really did, you know, because he was looking out for his fucking self. And it's, well, he wasn't looking out. It's his handlers looking out. Jay-Z ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z and Beyonce ain't shit. They the face of that, okay? At Nicki Minaj exposing the smear campaign tactics that Jay-Z, Rock Nation, Desiree Perez did to her behind the scenes is very similar to what I was told they did to Kaepernick, Diab wrote on Twitter, like igniting immediate speculation and outrage online. When Jay purposely co-opted Colin's protest by siding with the NFL to help their image after they blackballed Colin for his protest. Diab's accusation came just days after Nicki Minaj publicly hinted at alleged backdoor sabotage in the entertainment industry. While Minaj is yet to name Rock Nation directly in her current settlements, Diab's tweets explicitly made the connection, aligning both stars' experience as part of a larger pattern of corporate manipulation, okay? Listen, Jay-Z has been falling down. I mean, if this Ramir is going to be the fall, like if Ramir is found to be your son, and you've been putting out these DNAs and putting out these DNAs and putting out these DNAs. Oh, then the whole castle might fall. I'm serious, y'all. I'm telling y'all, that little Rock Nation castle might fall, okay? I forgot to tell y'all about Barack, about how they thinking about pressing, like they talking like they gonna press charges against Barack. I forgot that part. Damn, I just remembered it. Last story. This for real. This is the last one. I forgot about that. Barack and them, they might be in trouble. I forgot about that part. Gabby. She up here sound like she about Gabby. Sound like she about to. Let's see. If I can find it. Okay, this is crazy, y'all. And this is the last story, but Barack better watch his back. Barack, watch your back. Now, Donald, you can't be out here doing stupid stuff, because we know this, that when you get out of office, they're going to come after you. That's why presidents usually don't go after each other. You think that Barack Obama didn't have enough shit to put George and old Dick in jail? Probably. People was accusing them of violating human rights. You remember Dick Cheney, Gangster Dick? I'm still scared to talk about Dick Cheney. Let me put a apology ahead of time. Mr. Cheney, anything I'm saying, I'm just saying, you know, because like shit, I'm scared, you know, because they just had it in the news, okay? Shit, I'm more scared of Dick Cheney than the CIA. That motherfucker literally is walking around like Darth Vader, but I digress. So you know they had enough to put George and them under the bus with all the 9/11 stuff and everything, but they didn't. Barack went on in there like a president does, ignore some shit unless it's really blatant, even though I felt like they shit was blatant. The first globalist in office, they all globalist partners up. Donnie, no, they will come for you. if you live beyond they will put your old ass in jail. When you come out, they'll start finding something on you, and this will continue for ages with presidents. Okay, so let me just say what this is recently. This is according to the Hindustan Times. It says Obama to face criminal charges. Tulsi Gabbard accuses former press of treasonous. Listen to the words. Treasonous conspiracy against Trump. Tulsi Gabbard accused Barack Obama of a treasonous conspiracy against Trump, suggesting he may face charges. Director of National Intelligence, okay, remember she is the Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard has sparked fresh controversy after hinting that former President Barack Obama, y'all emperor, could face criminal charges. She linked the possibility to what she described as a treasonous conspiracy. She overseeing it, girl. That ain't no treason. Against President Donald Trump. On Saturday morning, Gabbard made an appearance on Fox and Friends to discuss a declassified report she released on Friday against the Obama administration. Okay, Gabbard's report alleges that officials of Obama's administration manufactured and politicized intelligence to lay the groundwork for what was essentially a years-long coup against Trump. I believe that. I believe they did that, but you got to understand who was their Secretary of State at the time. Well, she's still Secretary of State, Hillary. On Saturday, she alleged that during the 2016 presidential election, the government presented a different narrative about Russian interference than what they privately believed. Gabbard said the intelligence community assessed, and this is what the documents detail. Essentially, Russia doesn't have the tools, the capability, or the intent to try to change the outcome of the U.S. presidential election, as reported by the media. She directly implicated then President Barack Obama and top intelligence officials in what she called a treasonous conspiracy. I don't know if it's treasonous, Gabby, but it's definitely believable. Treasonous is if like you sell off some fucking secrets or something. Them lying about doing political lies, which they've been doing, about possibly about Donald Trump, and Democrats was dumb enough to believe it. Donald Trump winning that election because of the first election because of Russia was dumb. Anybody who knew, if you have been watching politics for years, which most Americans don't, you've been watching, you know that Hillary is hated. The Republicans was loving that Hillary was running. They was like, they didn't even want Barack Obama when he was running back in the day. They wanted Hillary because you know what they know? They know all the dirt on Hillary. Hillary was gonna get beat. As Democrats have a hard time dealing with their female choices for presidents. Hillary was gonna get her ass handed to her. All you had to do was go on Hillary's background and see all the shit that Hillary did. They was coming after her Scorpio ass, okay? Shit. And Kamala too. Kamala wasn't smart enough. I'm sorry. But you seeing a black woman? She not black. She's a fourth of black or whatever. I'm telling you that she was not going to win either. Y'all got to pick better. It's better candidates. Look. Why y'all don't even look at Susan Rice? Susan Rice is smart as hell. Why wouldn't y'all use Susan? She's up there allegedly running the White House. They say she was president anyway under Biden. Allegedly. Okay. But Barack, they trying to come for you for lying about Russiagate. And they done found the proof y'all lied about Russiagate. She argued that the investigation into Trump's alleged ties to Russia was driven by fabricated evidence. I believe they did that. But Gabby, that go deeper than Barack. Now, you know that's deep state, okay? Man, it's been a lot of hot topics today. And on that note, it's been a lot. I think this is the longest show. Is this the fucking longest show? It's the fucking longest show. Man, Barack, they about to put you in jail. Listen, you know what? Here's the deal. That's why I said the Democrats are so dumb. Democrats, you can't play. The Republicans are crazy. They always have been. You can't play dirty to the Republicans. They don't give a shit. Like They like, them motherfuckers, did you see them under George W? Like when they was under George W and before then, the Clinton years, how they was just fucking with Clinton for no reason. Like they were just fucking with Clinton. They was just fucking up Clinton's legacy. Even though Clinton wasn't shit a lot of time. But they was fucking up Clinton's legacy, right? And Clinton was a moderate. Now the Democratic Party is being ran by the elites. The elites stop running the Republicans because most Democrats don't get it. The elites run the world, so the elites quit running the Democrats. I mean the Republicans under George W. Bush because they're all globalists. See, if you're still looking at Democrats versus, I've told you guys this years ago, if you're still looking at Democrats versus Republicans, you're lost in the sauce and you're just involved in political theater and you're just hyping yourself up and getting upset about nothing. Domestic policy has been set on you mofos, okay? What they are here is for the globalist movement, the new world order. And this doesn't have, the new world order and globalists are not one party. I mean, there are several parties that can believe. You can be a Republican and be a globalist. Look at George W. Bush and his daddy. You can be a Democrat and be a globalist. Look at Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Then you have the nationalists. Old Trump coming to reclaim the nationalists get down, okay? Now the dumbest of all of them is the Black Caucus, because the Black Caucus used to go in there and fight for themselves, but they not no more. Now they getting caught up in between the white supremacists. They fighting with the elites, got them fighting the Democrats' causes, but they don't need to fight the Democrats' causes. You need to fight your cause. Damn the Democrats. We ain't got no party loyalty. Y'all don't got no loyalty. We don't got no loyalty. Okay, so y'all, if you're still riding on this, you're wrong. Okay? Now what they're doing, because that Barack Obama, because they led the thing, they was about to put Donald Trump in jail and they was being rough riders, bringing all kind of bogus ass cases up against Donald Trump, and a lot of them was bogus. They was bogus. Because all of them do crazy stuff in that White House, okay? Even Biden had a bunch of papers at his house. Okay? Now, let me tell you what they getting ready to do now. You guys were so dirty, you would have put Trump in jail, even for has an old person. So you know what we're gonna do? You know we Republicans don't play. You know we don't play no. When we go rough, we go rough. We coming for y'all emperor. We ain't even coming for Hillary's bum ass. Which they got a lot they could go after Hillary for. I mean, shit. No, they gonna hand it to your asses. They getting ready to hand you they getting ready to hand over fucking Barack. It's just like 24. Watch your back, Barack. That's why he coming off of vacation. Remember, we didn't see Barack for a long time. Barack coming off of vacation because he already hear the drum beat. They didn't even put Dick Cheney in jail and about to put Barack's ass in jail. Ooh, Lord have mercy. They didn't even put Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney should be sorry, Mr. Cheney. You should be where you at right now. I don't mess with Dick. Okay? But they about to put, some people say that Mr. Cheney, you should be in jail. I didn't say it, but some people say you should be, and not like a machine walking around. I didn't say that either. I didn't call you Darth Vader. All I'm saying is that they getting ready to put Barack up in jail. Barack, these Republicans ain't playing, and they rough riders. They always have been. That's why the globalists picked them first, because they ain't never been punks. That's one thing. You can't say the Republicans ever been punks. The Republicans ain't never been no punks. Not in the 20th century. Shit, after they shot Lincoln, the Republicans said, fuck that. They been coming hard ever since. Since you Negroes sold them out for the New Deal. Two old racists. What's his name? Who's old racist? Oh, he did out a New Deal with. What's his? Oh, Roosevelt. This racist ass. They all racist. All of them. You can't like any of them. You dumb if you sitting up here arguing. That's why I love Trump. I said Trump is the best thing that ever happened to Black America. What you talking about? Trump making y'all mad. But you're wrong. You shouldn't get mad. Trump is actually protecting y'all from the Dems. The Dems done slowed y'all down the river. They tired of Black Americans. They like, we get these Latinos in here. We get anybody because they just run the party if we let them. We thought we was going to control them. We haven't been able to shut them down for 50 years, but they shutting you down now. Because what they did is they went over there, they know it too. Because they know if they make Trump the most racist, ugly, vile thing, y'all triggered by racism. See, you ain't supposed to be triggered by racism. You've been in America too long. Too motherfucking long to be triggered by racism. Racism should roll off your shoulder like nothing. You should be like, you should see through the cloud of smoke of racism, okay? You got to see what these white supremacists is doing, and they live on both sides of the aisle. They just got two different ways of doing it. One is a little nicer to y'all. And the other one is like, well, shit, you know what? Hey, listen here, Negroes. They're about to erase you. And we could give a damn if they do or not. I mean, we're really the nationalists right here. We're trying to save the country. And the Democrats are like, they're just racist. They're so racist. They're nationalists. They're this and that and this and blah, blah, blah. And y'all, they got black folks so jacked up out here. I remember when I was a kid growing up here. This is how the messed up Democrats got y'all. The Democrats got black folks throwing away their special, their beliefs. They got them throwing away like we was conservative believing. Like, you know, you people, they got you throwing away y'all religious and spiritual beliefs. They got y'all, you selling your soul for the spirit. That's why I'm telling y'all, none of them is right. You just got to get in and use them and let them fight each other. And then you sit in between and watch them. And then you be like, how we going to get it? How we going to dilute our part out of them? You can't be emotional about these fools, okay? They the worst, both the worst parties on earth. But you gotta be smart. And you can't let racism trigger you anymore. Racism should not be triggering you. You've been in America 500 fucking years, over 500 to 600 years, okay? Maybe a little longer. There's no way racism should be like, okay, y'all, when y'all start talking that racist ish, we know it's something else going on. Let's see you two white supremacists argue and see what's really happening here. I love it. What's the man who used to be he wrote the codes for black people. I forget his name. He recently passed away. He used to do a show all the time. He's one of our elders that was very powerful in dissecting racism and stuff like that. But he said when two white people are talking, listen, let me tell you what he said. Black people just need to be quiet and listen. Oh, that's crazy what he said. But he said because you go hear the plans. If you just be quiet, you don't get in the middle of you just confuse things when you get in the middle of the white supremacists. That sometimes you just got to sit back and watch them like, yeah, okay. One group want to do this, one group want to do that. So where do we both best hang out at? We should be knowing this by now. We should be strategists in this thing. I mean, we should have been to master these people. I think we have. I think it's about 30% of us that have. 30%, the rest is trying to still be lost out there. But you should have been racism should not trigger you. But politics, yes, it should. Yes, you can get angry, but remain calm. Remain vigilant and understanding how you work the systems for yourself. Because that is smart. That's how you work a capitalist system. That's what you can learn from the white folks. I don't say be like the white folks. I say you can learn because you can learn from all groups. What you can learn is that they are very vigilant about their systems and how they work. be very vigilant of understanding the Constitution and all these things. This is neither party. You cannot defend a party. If you defend a party, you are barking down the wrong tree. Now, there are some parties that do some things that we like. Like I was talking to one of my friends who is a straight, staunch Democrat. And she told me, she said, you know what though? She said, I ain't gonna lie. She said, I like a couple of things Trump's doing. And I said, really? She said, illegal immigration? I am not for no illegal immigration, and I'm not for no men playing in women's sports, okay? That's, but and then she began to tell me when she was living in a certain city and she worked for Trump. And she said he was one of the nicest people ever. She said, I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, it's a game. Y'all better understand. Listen, remember when Trump was living in New York City, all he hung around was black Democrats. All he was hanging around, he was running around there. Trump ain't got there is no loyalty to none of these those people up there, they don't have no loyalty to nothing but elites and money. So what you gotta do is say, you can't look at Trump as a racist. Trump ain't a racist. Trump is representing where he could enter into. Where he can enter into power. Like Barack is sure, a lot of y'all think Barack is more Ronald Reagan-like than you thought. Well, Barack is representing where he could enter into power. So you got to understand, these politicians, these hoes ain't loyal. As Chris Brown say, these hoes ain't loyal. They ain't loyal. These politicians ain't loyal. They don't give a shit. But you got to be loyal to yourself and your political movements, and like you have to, you can't, and sometimes you might have to go outside of what you consider your party, because there is no party. You don't got no party. You black in America, ain't no party. Both of these parties have betrayed you in America. Through the 600, they have both betrayed you. There's no friends. And any black leadership sitting up there, or black media sitting up there acting like it's some friends and going all extra hard for the Democrats. Like I see a lot of these black people in bourgeoisie trying to hold on to their little jobs and shit. You can't trust them. Know that they are part of the system too. You gotta just take a little bit of what you like from them and say, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's the grassroots movements that really know the deal. Most of these, them other people, they don't know shit, okay? And celebrities, oh my gosh. Oh, Jesus. I'm just tell you right now, if you see a celebrity popping out, you know, ain't too many celebrities gonna buck the system, okay? I'm just tell you that. If you see a celebrity bucking the system, that's a special one, okay? But most of these celebrities, they not gonna buck no system. If they do it, they doing it quietly. So you can't expect to get your political news and stuff from celebrities. Let them sit up there and do what they do, sing and dance, and every now and then, if they got a politician on a little live or something, go watch it and hear their little soft questions and move on. Okay, you can't trust them mofos either. Malcolm told y'all that damn near 60 years ago. I'm not gonna tell y'all that again. Okay. Now the show is over. Thank you guys for listening to the show. Remember, you can hit me up on the Carlotta Chatwood Facebook page. You can also hit me up on Twitter with C Chatwood Show and Carlotta72. You can follow those. You can hit me up on Instagram at Carly's with an S _Galaxy. Right? And you can hit me up on TikTok at Keisha Carlotta, okay? Now, if I'm gone for a week, I keep saying I'm going to leave, but they keep having these stories come out. Damn. And I got to come talk to y'all. I'm going to stop. I done talked enough. All right? Hopefully no more stories come out this week, all right? I'm out. Y'all have a good one, okay? I'm going to leave y'all with some of this little electric music. What y'all want to hear? What's a little electric? Let's do daydreaming, okay? We out. See ya.